Ooh, hey everyone, and welcome to the Anime Burrito villains tier list. Now, I did post this as like the main villains, but as you guys can see, there's characters in here that are not necessarily villains, and they're more antagonists. But the reason why I changed to a straight up just general talk about villains is because of one character who's an antagonist in particular, which will be one of the relatively early ones, and I'm sure Red knows what I'm talking about. But yeah, my name's Lash Luke, and I'm here with David and Red from Control Chaos and Neo Rabbit. Yeah, you guys all know us. We did the main characters tier list a couple of weeks ago, and now we're back to talking about villains. Ooh, which is weird that we're not doing this in Halloween. But no new people today, so I guess we can actually just get started with the tier list. So the first one is Satou from Happy Sugar Life. And Red, I don't know if you've seen Happy Sugar Life, have you?
I have not.
We've seen Chris fanboy about it, so...
But, okay, basically, Satou is this character who's... kind of like her parents abandoned her when she was a kid, so she was raised by her aunt, who's this like psychologically abusive person and had some crazy ideas of what love really is, and that kind of translated over to Satou to the point that she didn't really have a particular love. She just kept going around having her way with men, and it was only when one particular person came into her life that she was like, okay, I'm going to nurture this person. But it turned out that the person was a little girl. But it's not a romantic relationship of sorts. It's more like a mothering, nurturing kind of relationship. And she vows to protect her no matter what. And she does some of the most horrific things in that series. The series is called Happy Sugar Life, but it's like one of the most darkest, sickest series ever. And in my opinion, I would say, I don't know if you would agree with me, David, but I would put her as excellent villain.
Yeah, like, the sadistic way she acts, from what I've seen from Chris's reactions, is, like, literally one of the most disturbing individuals I've ever seen.
Yeah, but in terms of, like, actual villain, she does actually portray it as well, because it gets you thinking as well, oh my, you really want these two to be together, but at the same time, it's kind of, your morality is like, she's doing so many despicable things. She's kidnapped this girl, kept her locked in an apartment, basically keeping her in closed space without any access to her own family as well.
Yeah, it's quite fucked.
Yeah. But I would, in terms of like excellent at how well she portrays it, I would say she is excellent as a villain, because, like I said, even though she's you kind of want her to be in this like Happy Sugar Life, as the series implies, you know that it's like, no, you really do not want that.
Yeah.
So I would put her as excellent. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, I would.
Right. And of course, the one that we're probably going to say God right away, Johan.
Yeah, God.
God.
Monsters, a series I still need to read.
Yeah,
it is literally one of the best written series of all
time.
I've
seen is King of Lightning fanboy.
Have you seen Red? Have you seen the where I put on the Discord server? Have you seen the scene where Johan is first introduced as like the primary?
I want to see the scene before actually watching it. I don't like seeing scenes out of context without. Like,
okay, all right.
Watching the show, yeah.
All right, but what I love most about Johan is the fact that he acts.
Don't worry about spoilers. That's okay.
All right. He acts just like a regular person. Like, if you went up to him, you wouldn't expect him to be this like sadistic person, but at the same time, he just gets under your skin all the time and makes you think. And he actually says to the doctor, the main character, Dr. Tenma, he actually said, I granted your wish, Doctor. You wanted them dead. And the doctor can't do anything about that, because he did actually say that to right when Johan was in the hospital. He was like, they're better off dead. So Johan was like, okay, if they're better off dead, I will get rid of them for you. Yeah, David, do you have anything to comment on that?
Like, as a villain, he's on that masterfully written scale, so, to the point where you want to kind of put yourself in his mindset in a way. Like, it's hard to explain without diving way too deep into the psychological side of him, but the way he's written,
do that. That's the point of the video. Go ahead.
All right.
If we do that, Red, we ruin the entire series for you.
Yeah, if we do that, yeah.
I can walk out if I need to. I don't want you to ruin the video for me.
Okay. All right.
So,
well, he's
Luke,
asked for it, David.
So the way that Johan acts in this series is probably like on the level of fuckery that I attach to like Lelouch, whereas they're two of my favorite written characters of all time. But at the same time, Johan, my first actual, because I got to see the series a bit out of order, and then I had to go back and because it was on Sci-Fi back in the day.
Yeah, and you kind of have to watch it in order. It's like one of those series that you can't watch out of order.
So my first like introduction to him was like midway through the fucking series. I'm like, whoa, what the fuck is up with this guy? And I went back. I'm like, oh, you can start to see him unravel, and you're like, now I see why he's the way he is, from Tim just outright saying they are better off dead, I'll dispose of them, to kind of driving Timma to almost that fucked up level right along with him.
Yeah, he kind of wants because for the context, Johan took his name from a storybook that he actually read as a child, which was like one of the most horrific storybooks ever, and it's kind of like the monster in the storybook gets passed from person to person. He kind of wants Temma to become the next Johan in a sense.
Yeah.
So
it's the goal of breaking a man right along with dragging them down to your level.
Yeah,
it's so dark and so beautiful at the same time, because you very seldom see that portrayed right, because it's hard to write the breaking of the human spirit. You see it a little bit in Tokyo Ghoul during the torture scene, and then you see it here, masterfully written.
Yeah, I agree, and also as well at the end of the series, the fact that it's just left up to so many interpretations. The ending shot, it's like, oh my god, a lot of people dislike the ending of Monster because of that, because it's just left so
ending,
so ambiguous. But I personally like it that way, and
it was kind of the way that like Kogias was left open to interpretation. Is Lelouch dead? Is he alive? Is he sitting in the back of the fucking cart? And lo and behold, in R3, he was.
Yeah. Personally, my interpretation of the ending is that once Temma found out Johan's name, it's that he's kind of like, now I have a name. There's no need for me, and he kind of like just disappeared, went underground, didn't surface again at all.
Yeah, but he's kind of became recluse.
Yeah, but it's kind of like it's kind of like left so that like he's still out there somewhere.
Yeah, that's a popular theory online too. Like there's that one, and then there's the he kind of took his own life.
I don't believe that, because the whole point of Johan is that he wanted to commit the perfect suicide, and it's kind of like being ruined now.
Yeah.
But yeah, Johan. Not only my favorite villain ever, but my favorite character of all time. Like, if I was going to pick a character that was like above Emma for me and from Promised Neverland, it would be Johan.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So yeah, now the next one. Oh my, we've got one here. Aizen from Bleach.
I have things to say.
Yeah, go. Right. We'll let you talk, Red.
So he's an interesting case for me, because if you look at him purely based off of like, I don't know, like the merits of how to write a good character, he's kind of just but like Kubo did a very good job at giving him presence. Like there was so much hype around him, like whenever he showed up, even though objectively he's kind of a shitty character, but like somehow he brought the hype out, like in the same way as like a main villain in like a Saturday morning cartoon, you know, like there's not a lot of depth to him, but it's like, oh shit, it's fucking Zagnor, you know what I mean? Like he had this presence throughout the whole series because Kubo made him so ridiculously stupidly overpowered, but like still somehow believable. So like for me, and of course I have a lot of problems with like how we never really got a motivation from him. Like it was just, I want to kill Soul King and become God, and it was like, okay, And then he was like, but maybe also I wanted to make Ichigo strong because I was lonely and being the strongest. And I was like, okay. And then like nothing more came from him. So it was just like us. Good.
I was going to let you finish before I jumped in.
Yeah, no, so he just was really a really strong guy. And there was hype around him because he was stupidly strong. It was very fun watching him just like own the entirety of the Gote 13 in like one chapter and in the Fake Karakura Town arc. It was very fun watching him troll in the final arc of the manga. He is a fun character. There's a lot of hype around him. I love how he fights. I love how he trolls. And I think that's what makes him above just like an average or even crap. What elevates him to where I would put him, which would be good, which is just the hype around him. And like the hype, the fact that he's got presence throughout the whole story, and the fact that he has fun with it. He trolls. He's one of those like, because some villains, they can get kind of obnoxious if they're doing that whole like, you're beneath me, you're like ants to be crushed. But he takes it to the next level where he trolls to troll, just to troll. Like he'll be like, oh, you thought you stabbed me? Actually, it's Momo, your best friend, Toshiro. Sorry about that, lol. Like just for no reason. He's just like, and I love that douche just to be douche, you know? And so yeah, that's the two main reasons for me. Just the trolling and the presence. Because in the final arc, you literally find out that like he always used to tell Ichigo, oh yeah, I've known about you since your birth. You know, I basically controlled your whole fucking life to make you the perfect amalgamation of every race so you can be the strongest. And then it goes even further. In the final arc, you see, not only do you know it about Ichigo from birth, he literally watched his parents meet and set them up like a fucking like wingman. Like, oh, you guys need to fuck. This will be interesting. A Quincy and a Soul Reaper having a kid. What's gonna come from this? So like, he's just got this presence throughout the whole series.
He's like, a wingman for this. He was a wingman for the sake of just fighting the child.
Yeah, he was the puppet master of the entirety of the series. It was ridiculous. So like, he's ridiculous in any other series. If it wasn't done as well as it was here, it would be so ridiculous that I would actually say it's shitty. But like, Kubo manages to actually make it okay. But it's still like he's got almost zero interesting motivation. So I slap him at good.
Yeah, I can agree with that. And I was gonna say, not only the fact that a Quincy and a Shinigami got together, but a Quincy that had been attacked by a hollow that he created.
Oh yeah, see, you wanted to just meld everything together into one. And
yeah,
it's just interesting
all the races, the perfect being, no more racism.
Yeah, I actually want to ask a question for you guys. I don't know if we've said this before, but his Kyoka Suigetsu, do you think that was his actual Bonkai, and he was just lying? Because I've heard that be a theory that the whole
I have heard that theory before.
The whole water thing was his Shikai, and the perfect hypnosis was his Bonkai.
It would make sense considering how overpowered it is, but at the same time, it does just kind of strike me as a theory to cover up like a plot hole. You know what I mean? It's one of those like desperate, like, I need to make this make sense, because it really doesn't make sense that he never used his Bonkai.
Yeah.
Hypothetically, because obviously one of the things that Aizen did was he used his perfect hypnosis to make people think that his ability was actually the, like, you know, illusions with water and mist, but then like potentially that was his Shikai and then his Bonkai was perfect hypnosis. I don't know. Seems weird to me, considering every other time we've ever seen anyone use a Bonkai in the series, they've had to shout Bonkai, you know what I mean? So like, I just think Kubo couldn't think of something and just kind of was like, hush hush, don't think about it, which is kind of why he made his powers more of like, well, I don't even need my Zabuto anymore because the Hogyoku, or I don't even need it because I merged with it now. So I just think Kubo couldn't think of anything. I think he trapped himself in a corner. Similar to how Kishimoto handled Madara by having Kaguya just come.
Yeah, and we've got Madara on here, so that'll be all you guys.
Yeah. So I guess the final answer to that question would be there'd need to be more proof of it, because right now it's just kind of a what if, but there's really not a lot of proof of that theory.
All right, fair enough. And also, one thing before we move on to Yhwach, that's meant to be Yhwach there. One other thing is that people complain about how Aizen loves to monologue, and it's like, yeah, he does, but considering I do acting and I've done Shakespeare, Aizen monologuing, that's a blip to me.
I never had a problem. with his
I know,
monologuing.
but
the only time it got funny was when there was a point where he was fighting Yoruichi, Ishin, and Urahara, and he was like in the chrysalis form, and they were like doing their best to beat his ass, and it was just really funny because he got himself in like a loop of monologuing because like they kept actually doing stuff, like they were doing damage to him because it's like 3 of the strongest characters in the series, so they would hit him, he would like get blasted into the ground, and he'd get up and he'd be like, huh, you think that's gonna do anything? And but like right as anything, and then boom, they hit him again, and he'd get up and he's like, you think that's gonna do anything? Boom. Like you can literally go back and find this. There's like 3 separate occasions where like he's in the middle of monologuing, they cut him off by hitting him across the fucking street, and then like he gets back up and he tries to monologue again. It's like Kubo's like, oh shit, what else do I have him say?
Yeah, so yeah, I would definitely put Aizen in good. Now, Nero's gone. Oh well.
David, do you agree with good on that one?
Yeah, Aizen, I would say is good. Yhwach, on the other hand,
Yhwach, on the other hand,
Yhwach started out.
Yeah,
more
I was gonna.
than Aizen to me.
I was gonna.
Became. Yeah, go ahead.
I was going to say that you took the words right out of my mouth. Yhwach started off interesting. It's just the same thing with Aizen as well.
Yep.
Kubo made him so ridiculously overpowered that my friend, his way of doing the end of the series is that he would have just had Yhwach win and make the world and make the universe how he wanted it to be.
It would have been interesting, yeah. Because similar to, you ever seen Yuri JoJo at all, Luke?
I've not read JoJo. I've heard good. I've heard
so spoilers for part 6.
Okay.
In part 6, the villain basically wins, and like it ends with it's a very similar thing to Yhwach where he wanted to like reshape the universe, and like it just ends with the universe being reshaped, and it's like really interesting, and I love when series can do that.
All right. Yeah, I think the main reason why Kubo didn't go down that road, I think it was more to do with Jump because they don't like. I don't think they like having the villains wins. With the case of Light, from what I've heard, we've got Light on here as well. The only character that is a main character and also a main villain on this list. But no, with Light, I feel like what they wanted to do is that they wanted him to win at the end, but Jump wouldn't let them. Yeah, so I feel like that's more to do with Jump rather than Kubo himself.
No, see, I don't like this giving excuses to authors because of like Shonen did it, because like honestly, it seems like they still have the final say. It doesn't seem like they force it, especially someone with like history in the magazine, and they were already booting him out. So what did Kubo have to lose? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think it's more of because in fact there was an interview with Kubo where he specifically said he acknowledged that it was rushed, but at the very least he got to end it the way he always wanted to. He said the end chapter was exactly how he envisioned it when he first started the series. He wanted to do the whole I
can believe that. I can believe that would actually end with Ichigo's kid being a Shinigami. That whole end chapter does make sense.
So for me, I don't know. I just think that Kubo, it's very clear when you read through his stories, you can see every author's weaknesses and strengths, and Kubo has a very consistent weakness, and that is his villains. Where you can see he follows the same path for both Aizen and Yhwach. They're already stupidly powerful. They go through getting power-ups. So Aizen, it was like already crazy powerful, above every other captain from base level Aizen. Then he gets the Hogyoku. Then he gets the Chrysalis form. Then he gets all these evolve form until he's like 5 dimensions above everybody else. And then he gets defeated by a Deus Ex Machina one shot. Okay. Then Yhwach, already crazy powerful.
Red.
And this is why we don't use phone audio.
He's got all these powers. I didn't cut out. Did I just hear me?
Yes.
You did.
It was because I saw that. What was the last thing you heard me?
You were saying about Yhwach, how he had all these crazy powers.
Yeah. So he just, just like with Aizen, he goes through absorbing. He absorbs all the soul. Literally, he absorbs God. He has like the crazy eye things. He absorbs all of his men back into him. So like, Kubo again sets him up. This guy's so stupidly powerful. This guy that literally they couldn't touch before, and now he's like triple the power. How they were gonna beat him? Oh, here's this Deus Ex Machina like arrowhead that'll strip him of all his power. Like So Kubo did this with every single one of his villains, where it was like, oh my god, how are we ever going to beat him? And then they're beaten in literally like less than 3 chapters. Like, think about the final Aizen fight. It was like less than 3 chapters.
At least
Muget's done. Like, so that's a problem with Kubo. Kubo does not know how to power scale. He does not know how to end up. Like, he wants to keep ratcheting up the hype, and then he doesn't know how to end it ever.
At least with the final fight between Aizen and Yhwach, at least that was an actual fight.
Yeah, but it was so short.
It was short, but it was better than the final fight with Yhwach.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I honestly
that one
think
chapter of Aizen versus Yhwach makes it all better for me.
I still to this day stand by the fact that the anime's version of Ichigo versus Ukiura was better than any of the in-game
That's
shit.
the best fight in Bleach.
Until we get some fights in the final arc that get animated and they add stuff into that.
Aizen versus Yhwach. Yeah.
That needs to be extended, and if Kubo is if Kubo was like approached by them to bring it back, I guarantee he probably sat on and said, "Okay, we need to extend this."
And kind of like the anime for YuYu Hakusho.
Well, I've not seen YuYu Hakusho.
Like, they approached Togashi and kind of like, this is what I wanted to do.
It's true, yeah. Togashi, by the end of the manga of YuYu Hakusho, he was really fed up with like the scheduling, and he just kind of like rushed it. He rushed the hell out of like the last 5 chapters, and then when the anime was being made, he went up to them, or I don't know if they went to him or he went to them, but they actually gave it the proper ending in the anime.
Yeah,
and then they extended it even more with OVAs.
Yeah, so hopefully when if the anime ever comes, because at this rate we have no idea what's going on because it's all getting rescheduled and put on hiatus, all the anime, so we have no idea what's going to happen. But hopefully by next year when we get it, the Yhwach fight will be extended.
Yeah, how many episodes do you think it'll actually be?
I think
I would put Yhwach on the exact same level as Aizen, honestly. I think same great setup, same disappointing. We got like 1 chapter of motivation. It was like really quick. His like Jesus baby flashback.
Jesus baby flashback.
Yeah, remember he was like a healing baby, but the more that they touched him, the yada yada. Anyway.
Yeah. David, were you just saying about how long you think the final arc is going to be in terms of animated episodes? Is that what you were saying, or were you talking about what? I reckon it will be probably about, I'd say, 60.
Yeah, I was thinking like.
Hold on, I gotta think about that. I got the volumes right. Let me see. So it's from volume 55 to 70. What is it?
74.
74.
So it's 206 chapters.
It's usually 2 to 4 chapters.
So usually, a well-paced anime would do 3 chapters, because the old, like the Bleach anime of old, it was typically 2 to 3 chapters. Typically more like 3 chapters an episode. So take 204 divided by 3.
Oh, I thought you were asking Siri to do that.
Yeah, I'm assuming I keep cutting out, so I'm gonna move over to my laptop.
All right. Nero, do you agree with what we've put for Aizen and Yhwach? Or have you never seen Bleach?
I've seen Bleach, but I don't really pay attention to the Aizen arc, so.
All right, okay. All right.
There'll be 68 episodes, roughly.
Yeah, I would say for that.
That's also not counting if we get the light novel stuff animated.
I would love for the light novel stuff to be animated. But if they're gonna do that, I make that canon. Then because they probably will want to do that. And I could see it being well over 100 episodes for the. It depends who's animating it, because I don't think we know who's animating the final arc yet.
Yeah, I was hoping it would be and the controversial opinion, but I was hoping it would be Perot, because at least we get flashy, beautiful fights, and I'd like for everything to stay in the same studio, you know.
Yeah. I'm just gonna let me just see who can we talk, because you don't care much for My Hero Academia, so shall we move Lewis and Peter Atari forward, and we can talk about them?
Shit.
I know about Shigaraki.
You and Nero take Shiggy until Red gets back, and then we can continue the My Hero stuff. How's that? And I can finish my nuggies.
All right. So we've got Shigaraki now.
In my defense, I haven't ate today.
All right, yeah, fair enough. Nero, do you have anything to say on Shigaraki?
Well, have you read the manga?
I have read quite a bit of the manga, so
Caught
and
up?
I've seen I'm caught up pretty much, and I've seen the anime, so I have quite a bit to say about Shigaraki himself.
All right. Well,
Yeah, but I'll let you take your say.
I'd say that Shigaraki started out as a very bland character, but just like Deku, you see his growth, and I'd say he's a better character than Deku will ever be. So possibly.
I agree with that. And I love that Horikoshi did the My Hero Academia arc, which when that gets animated, people are gonna probably fall in love with Shigaraki even more. But I loved the backstory that he gave Shigaraki, how he didn't start off as like this conniving evil person, and it was kind of like the sins of the father that kind of like drove him to basically snap. It was have you seen One Piece?
Yes, I've seen One Piece.
Yeah, in many respects, Shigaraki's backstory is similar to Doflamingo's. How it's kind of like the sins of the father kind of influenced them to become the person that they did, and the way that it's just like he destroyed his entire family, and he didn't want that to start off at first, but when it happened, it kind of like there was no turning back then, and I love the symbolism of just having his family's decayed hands on his face up until recently. And again, I love the parallels between Deku and Shigaraki, because like they're so similar, like they're both on equal paths. It's just like one's the path for hero and one's the path for villain. And ironically, I don't know if Red will agree with us on this, but the more we learned about Deku, the less boring he got. But the more we learned about Shigaraki, the more interesting he got.
Yeah, I don't really like Deku.
No, I don't. I think Deku's just average, as we said last time. But in terms of Shigaraki, I would definitely put him as excellent. Just for the fact as well that he's powerful. That's no denying, but he's not overly powerful, if that makes sense.
The villain. I'm gonna say it straight out. You should have put Father on this list of tiers.
I did. I've got Father on. I've got Father on from Fullmetal Alchemist.
No, wrong Father. I'm talking about the one from Noragami.
Because I've not seen Noragami, so that kind of slipped on.
And on there, so
yeah, and I had to make some exceptions, because if I did the list as long as last time, we would be here for another 3 hours, and it's kind of like I didn't want to do that this time.
Well,
so
the state of your internet too. That probably is a good thing that you did some sacrifices on this one.
Yeah. Well, now that I've got the cable in and everything, it shouldn't have that problem anymore. At least that's what my brother says.
Yeah, hopefully.
Yeah. But yeah, Shigaraki, I would put him as an excellent villain.
Can you DM Red a link again?
Yeah, I will. Just bear with me. Yeah. So sorry everyone for this kind of like blank period at the moment. But yeah, I'll put Shigaraki in excellent and wait until Red gets back and see what he says. Yeah. So let's see. Oh, God. Yeah. But David.
Yeah.
Yeah. How much of My Hero have you actually seen? Even though you don't like it, how much have you actually seen? Can you comment on Shigaraki?
I cannot comment fairly on Shigaraki.
Okay. All right. So now the reason why here we go. Hey, you're back, Red. Yeah, so we just done Shigaraki. I've put him in excellent. I don't know what your opinion on that would be. Red?
Technical difficulties music here.
Technical difficulties.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. Yes. Yeah. So did you hear what I just said?
No, I literally just got back in.
All right. Sorry about that. But yeah, we just did Shigaraki, and I put him in excellent. And I don't know if you would like to make a comment on that.
Yeah. I like Shigaraki a lot. You know, I'm trying to think. I like how I don't know, I was really interested from the beginning with him because like they always focused on the fact that he's like a man child. Like they even called him that in the actual translation, like, oh, he's a man child, right? And especially when I'm assuming you're caught up with My Hero. Yeah, of course you are. You watch our reviews. So you kind of see how I'm trying to think how to word this here. It's been a while since I've talked about Shigaraki, actually. He's been in a fucking tube for so long, huh? Like especially when you see his flashback, like he's kind of regressed to the state of a child because he had not only a shitty upbringing, but like I think he was pushed to act towards everything in the manner of a child by All For One, who kind of like bred that childlike temper tantrumy fitness in him. Like I think to like the moment where he finally snapped and killed his dad, and that was like the first true sense of happiness he'd ever had, because it was like he acted on that like childish desire, and because he had the power to with his quirk, you know, that I guess he just has this mentality of like, there's no reason to think things logically. Anything I don't like, I'm going to destroy. And that's just, so it's a very childlike mentality, but his want to destroy like society, that's kind of what brings all of the League of Villain together. They have this like hatred of society and how it's run because they feel left out of society. So it's like a bunch of like kind of petty teens, like lashing out at the society that rejected them, which is a very real thing. I mean, there's a lot of people, that's what you get, a lot of people like that in real life, that are just left out by the society they live in. And typically those are the people that like become like your shooters and you know what I mean? Like people that lash out and do horrible things. It's usually, if you track it back long enough, something fucked up happened either in their mind or like they were raised wrong or something. And that's kind of what you see with them, but obviously they have quirks instead. So yeah, I think he's interesting. I think there's a lot of deepness to him, a lot of layers, despite his motivations seeming very simple on the surface, which is just destroy everything. It comes from a deeper place where it's like more of like less. I mean, yes, he literally does want to destroy everything, but I think it's more on like I want to just watch society crumble, because what has society ever done for me? So yeah, I like him. Excellent. He's better. Yeah, he's better than Aizen and Yhwach, so that's fine.
I was just gonna say, Tyler Pancake in the comments has just said Shigaraki and General are both excellent, and we'll get into General in a minute. And I would put you are an average. I don't give a flying fuck about him. But no, I was gonna say, I said this to Nero, but I see a lot of parallels between Doflamingo's backstory and Shigaraki's backstory. I don't know if you actually saw that.
That's a good point. I had never thought of that. Can you hear me okay, by the way? Because it seems like my internet connection is very up, down, up, down. I don't know why.
No, I can hear you properly.
That's good. I wasn't cutting in and out.
No. But no, I was just like saying like the sins of the father kind of influenced who they are today.
Definitely. That's a good point you make. And whereas they both kind of they went at it in different directions. Doflamingo, like he matured up and became very like hardened, whereas I think Shigaraki, he decided to keep his viewpoint of the world very childish because that's what always worked for him. You know, because like I think when you're a kid, you have temper tantrums, and then you learn that that's never going to work. Your parents very quickly get you out of that. Like, nope, that temper tantrum ain't going to do shit. What the fuck, David? We don't show our real faces on these. What the hell? We're Daft Punk up in this bitch. You stay out of here.
Oh, it's fine. It's fine.
I'm kidding. I know. But so like, you know, kids in our world, they have temper tantrums and they're quickly like, you know, taught, nope, that isn't going to get you shit, right? Whereas in Shigaraki's world, if you have a good enough quirk, you know, we saw this with the quirk singularity concept, like the kids that poor babysitter was babysitting. You can terrify an adult if you're a kid in this world and you have a good enough quirk. And considering his quirk, he murders his entire family. Lol, accidentally, except for that dad. Fuck him. But like, you know, the only good stimuli he's ever gotten was, when I had this temper tantrum and I acted out violently, my life got better. So why would I stop? You know, so like that, it stunted his growth into a mature person because every time he's ever acted out violently, it's made him happier. And like, obviously I like the metaphor of like, he's got the itch, that like tick, that itch that he has when he's stressed. And like the one time that the itching stopped was right after he murdered his dad, because like the itch comes from a stress. And that at that moment, all of his stress was his dad. Right. So I like that. Like the literal itch for murder, but
yeah.
It's one of those characters that it seems so dumb when you just tell them like, yeah, his motive is destroy everything, but then you just explain it and it actually is quite deep. So yeah.
I'm
just watching Nero draw while we're doing this.
They are really good.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, Red, going back to 1-4. I didn't have 1-4 in here, but have you heard the theory that I've had about All for One for a long time? Like the one that we actually saw fight All Might was not the original All for One, and it was kind of like the Doctor.
Interesting.
Because I have some evidence to back that up, because of like the All Might.
Do you think that it's similar to what happens with like All Might and his predecessors, where it's like a passing down thing?
No.
What
I think is like the Doctor is the original All for One, because All Might said that All for One had a quirk that kept him basically being ageless. And what does the Doctor have? A longevity quirk, and he talks about like having all these quirks, all these quirks himself, collecting all of these quirks.
I just assumed that was because, remember what, All for One is kind of like the Blackbeard, like in One Piece, Blackbeard can just be like, I'm gonna take that devil fruit, give that to that one. He probably just found someone that had that quirk, took it out, gave it to the Doctor, found, gave one to himself.
But I would actually like that if the Doctor was actually the true All for One, because not only would that shock people, it would make All Might's sacrifice pointless, basically. Yeah, and the All for One,
interesting theory.
All for One that we saw was Nomu, in the same way like Kurogiri is.
I mean, his betrayal, the Doctor's betrayal in these last couple chapters has just been one of pure, like, piss pants scared. So, like, it really doesn't make much sense to me that he'd be All for One, because all he's doing is screaming.
Yeah, but it's just been a theory that I've had for a while.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting. I don't think I don't think it's happening, but hey, if it happens, you get all gloating rights.
Yeah. So yeah. Anyway, now here's one that I feel like gentle. Now the reason why this is why I didn't want to just be at main villains list is because I wanted to put Jay on here, just because of how people have completely who have just reacted to the anime have completely misinterpreted his character.
Oh yeah. No, I mean, I think it was like, I liked him better in the manga too. I think, unfortunately, something about bringing over like a very charismatic character like that to the anime, it can come off as like cringe, like bravo. It's like, okay.
I feel like a lot of people are like hated on him because he wasn't like because coming off of Chisaki, he wasn't kind of like that villain who was out to destroy everything. He just wanted to be recognized.
Yeah, he had a more down to earth, interesting goal, and what was I gonna say? Like, Gentle's my favorite character in My Hero. Watching through the anime with a friend, I can see how people might find him a bit cringe, but like I think the betrayal in the anime was a bit, I don't know, like I can see that. I liked him a lot in the manga. And like the reason I liked him was just because like it was one of those characters that like, well, he took the role of the antagonist of that arc. He was so not a villain at all. He was just a character. He was such a pitiable character. Like there was nothing about him that was like you're doing anything bad here. Like the first thing you see is him robbing a convenience store, and he's like doing it for like YouTube clout. And he's like, why did I choose this store? Because they're selling shit with fake expiration dates. I had to punish them, and he's just so like wholesome. Like there's a level of innocence that he has that in most people like his age, like when you're that old, like you lose that. You're jaded to everything. And I think the big thing that got me was his relationship with Labrava. And there's a moment where, he's been trying to do YouTube forever. And when you're trying to do YouTube and you see your numbers grow, like it's such a heartening feeling. You get really excited. And like, you know, he's a character who, you know, he's doing this YouTube channel, but he's getting like nothing. He's got like, I don't know, 5 subscribers, and like most of his videos are getting dislikes and yada yada, and he's getting like 10, 20 views max. But like, you know, as sometimes happens with YouTube, he's got this like one super fan, and it's La Brava, and she kind of does like, she goes full stalker mode, and she tracks him down because she's like a hacker. And she tracks him down, and she shows up at his door. And keep in mind, this is like after she's a complete like reject where she comes from. Like, no one in her school likes her. They think she's a freak. She was on the verge of like killing herself. And like Gentle's videos was like her escape from that. So when she tracks out Gentle, I think a more jaded, more like, I don't know, realistic person would have been like creeped out by that. Like, ugh, stalkery, right? But Gentle, he's such an innocent, loving person that he just welcomes her in with open arms. And it's not like a creepy welcome her in like, oh, I can get something out of this, or it's, you know, because of this or that or the other thing. No, he welcomes her in just purely because, oh my God, you love the things I make, and I've always wanted to have an assistant, and oh, this is perfect, right? It was just the most wholesome thing. And they become this like, so they both help each other so much. And like, there's a moment too where she fucks up her makeup, and she's got like permanent dark circles around her eyes. And without missing a beat, he just takes a permanent marker, draws a circle around both of his eyes, and he's just like, look, now we match. We're a duo, right? Like, that's the kind of person I strive to be in life. Someone who doesn't care about optics, you know, like what other people think of me, but just is a genuine person. Because like there is a lot of things like that, like, oh, you're friends with that person, are you, what, you weirdo, oh, you're gonna do that, you know, like people, they like triple think something before they do it instead of just acting on their emotions and like, you know, well, this feels right and I'm gonna do it. And that was what Gentle did. He just kind of did what he felt was right. And he wanted to entertain, and he wanted to be a hero. And when you see his backstory, he wanted to be a hero, but he was just kind of not cut out for it, you know? And it was just sad. I thought he was just such a lovable character. And one of the few times I've cried in the My Hero manga was when they were about to be split apart by the authorities. I like him personally better than Shigaraki, but he's not. See, now here's the problem, right? He's not God, but he's not.
No.
I'm not dumb, obviously. I'm not going to call him a god-level character. I'm almost thinking we should move down. Like, part of me wants to move down Aizen and Yhwach to average.
Well, we can do that.
If people agree. Because, like, now I'm thinking, like, honestly, I think that Gentle belongs in good and Aizen and Yhwach belong down on average. That's what I'm thinking. But only if other people agree.
I can vouch for that.
I can definitely agree with that one.
All right, so we're doing that. And also as well, you kind of hit the nail on the head there with Gentle when society just basically rejects him. And I'm surprised there's not been like an arc where it's kind of like had more people like Gentle who have just been like, who have just gone around doing more heinous crimes than him. And then when people have confronted him, it's like, well, this is what the heroes said. They said we couldn't be heroes. We couldn't be heroes. We flunked out of the schools. We couldn't be heroes. There was no way for us to get a hero's license. They were saying we've just got to be villains. So we're kind of doing what they wanted. Red? Oh, he's all right. I don't know what's happened to him there. Red, are you still there?
Ready, Pooh? Did your computer break again?
Red?
I'll DM him real quick. In the meantime, who's the next character?
The next character is it's a character that you've not gone up to, David, because this is not Dr. Stone season 2 hasn't come out, but this is the main villain of the arc that's just gone in Dr. Stone, Ibara.
Okay.
Oh, Red's back. Red, can you hear me?
I don't know, because like my internet has always been fine, and then like ever since the Corona shit, like I think it's just like overloaded with all the people on the internet.
Yeah.
Same.
But no, what I was saying, Red, is that you hit the nail on the head with Gentle, because, and I'm surprised there's not been any more characters like him in the series. Like, there's not been an arc where they've had characters that have done more grand scale things than Gentle.
I heard all this.
Yeah, you've heard.
I can still hear you guys. Like when you guys are like red, I heard everything. So I got you. Don't worry, repeat.
Sorry. But yeah, the next one, I think this is one that only me and you can talk about, because.
Well, I was going to add one more thing though. May I add one more thing to Gentle?
Yeah.
My Hero is at its best when it's dealing with societal ramifications of quirks, because like that's always been Horikoshi's strength, is when he's going into like how society would operate with all that shit. And it's just like you said, like Gentle is the perfect representation of when you have this like career path. Oh, I want to be a hero. When you turn someone away that's like, oh, I want to be a hero, where's the logical course? Like someone who, you know, they're not good at academics at all, and their heart is set on being a hero. And you're like, nah, fuck you. It's never going to happen. And you fail them harshly. You're probably going to get a villain out of that, you know? And that's something that really needs to be considered, you know? Like they should have some sort of course where like maybe we can direct you to community service, or you know what I mean?
Well,
because they really are going to turn out a lot of people that are jaded at the system. And what is the best thing to do when you're jaded at the system? Become a villain.
Yeah, well, it's not that. It's the fact that sometimes people are just not good test takers. They're more proactive when they're out on the field rather than just behind a desk with all these fancy paperworks.
But they're also just people. This is a harsh case of reality. There's also just people that may want to do something but just don't have the talent for it.
Yeah,
you know, like I remember just thinking for a while, oh well, I'm gonna do computer stuff because that seems like a good career, and then I realized that I can't do programming. You know, programming is not happening with me because like math is hard.
Yeah. So yeah, I like General as well.
Well, to be fair, Red, they pushed you down one of 3 paths at that college. It was either business administration, IT, or electrical engineering.
Right then. So now this is probably something that me and Red can talk about, because Nero, have you seen much of Dr. Stone or read it? I can't remember. Pardon?
I read a lot of Dr. Stone.
All right. Have you read the Treasure Island arc?
I was gonna get to that, but then I kind of I had manga burnout where you read too many chapters at once and then you don't want to read more.
All right, okay. So I guess this is me and you. I guess this is me and you read Ibara.
I really didn't have many strong opinions on him. He was drawn scary, but besides that, he didn't really stick in my mind very well.
I disagree with that because I don't know if it was Chaotic Plus that did this, because we did a Dr. Stone discussion, but he said something like Ibara was able to match Senku intelligently. I don't know if you would agree with him on that one.
I'll be honest, like this is going to be probably where you and I are probably going to have to compromise, because like for me, I thought Ibara was totally average. Other than like, I thought he was drawn cool. He was menacing, but like he did not stick in my mind very much at all. You have a different opinion. Go ahead.
I do have a different opinion. I would definitely put him in excellent because of the fact that he was able, because just the fact, just the implications that had with him. Because, like you said in the reviews, it was very heavily implied that when he had the harm together, once he had his way with them, I'm not going to say the word, but once he had his way,
I mean, he was a scumfuck for sure. Yeah. But like the villains that like stick in my mind are typically the ones that I can almost relate to on like a what's the word I'm looking for here? A philosophy level, or what's the word? There's a better word I'm looking for, and I've lost it. Like their motives, you know what I mean?
Oh yeah. And
like so, like for example, like Yoshihage Kira from JoJo. I'm trying to think. I'm looking through the list you have here. Like Hisoka, I can break down and analyze. Meruem, I can break down and analyze. Like, okay, what he wants and why. So like my kind of villains are the ones where I can really sit down and be like, oh man, I get what turned him down this path. Whereas with him, he was just like a very like evil mustache twirling, like I'm just evil and I molest women and I fucking I'm just evil for evil's sake. And those kind of villains never really interest me.
All right. Yeah,
he had presence for sure.
Yeah. I feel like that's why he rises above for me, just because of the way he was drawn and the way he was portrayed, and the fact that he had some of the more creepiest imagery from Dr. Stone, like that image where you have Gimro who's like drugged him and he's like in a daze, and Gimro actually finds the statue of the leader, and then he's like, You've seen the leader, and Gimro's like, no, I haven't. And then you just see that image of him like going with the claws behind him, like just like this devil creature, lying. That freaked me out.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. Like he had presence. He was very scary every time he showed up. So I could put him at good, and like we can compromise and put him at good.
I'll put him at good. And also it was a match because you had no idea how they were going to actually defeat him in the end. So
Yeah,
yeah. Now I don't know where you would put this character, but Lewis or Luffy from Promised Neverland.
Oh boy,
Lewis, the one with the monkey, right?
Yeah, the one with
Yes.
the monkey.
I mean,
Stupid
go ahead,
monkey.
David.
Yeah, you can say this one, David.
Honestly, given the implications of the latest few chapters, I would actually put him in good.
Yeah,
At least.
Feel free to talk about it. I really don't care about getting spoiled.
All right. Basically, the implications are that the chapters that we've had are that the fact that Lewis. I don't know what your implications were going to be, David, so I'll let you say it first.
Being resurrected to kind of maybe be a trial here at this point, like you were saying. But I really don't see, because right now they put out the TOC, like it's allegedly the climax of the final arc that we're in right now. So maybe 10, 15 chapters more if we're lucky. So I don't know if they'll kind of rush end it at this point, or they'll just be like, and the promise is blah. But yeah, it kind of seems like he's going to be that roadblock here.
Yeah,
turn everybody over to like Musica at this point.
Yeah, but I would say, like you said, I'd say he's probably going to be the final test for Emma to see how far she's actually come herself and whether or not. I feel like part of the promise for Emma is that, like I said before, was that she has to kill all the royal bloodline. And I was debating whether or not that included Songju, but he was kind of like pushed to the side. So I feel like Lewis is kind of like the last of the royal bloodline that Emma would have to take care of. And
yeah, because Songju was like the outcast.
Yeah, and also, why else would they resurrect Lewis if they were just gonna resurrect him but not do anything with him?
I mean, he's been a nice plot device for the last 10-ish chapters.
Yeah. But no, what I love most about Lewis as a character is the fact that he's a character that even though you can't reason with him, like I said, he kind of reminds me. I don't know if Reg, you're gonna agree with this, but the way I saw Lewis, because I've just finished the Hunter exam arc in Hunter x Hunter.
He's very Hisoka-like. In fact, we made that reference a lot in our earlier.
Yeah. All right. So I'm not far off, but no. The way I saw Hisoka's interactions with Gon was very much in the same way I saw Lewis's interactions with Emma. It's kind of like Lewis was completely out of her league, in the same way Hisoka was completely out of Gon was completely out of Hisoka's league. But they kind of had a mutual respect for each other in each party.
And Lewis clearly his highest form of entertainment is like hunting, and he likes the thrill of the hunt, whereas Hisoka likes the thrill of the fight. So yeah, I mean, he's one of those, like every anime, not every anime, but a lot of anime have that type of character, like Kenpachi and Bleach, or
yeah, but also
at least you didn't get any poorly translated,
or they just really love it, or
yeah, but I feel like I honestly like Lewis a lot more than Kenpachi, because I feel like Kenpachi was just more of that just crazy bloodthirsty type person, whereas Lewis had more of a moral to him. It's like, I'm not going to fight I'm not going to fight anyone if I feel like they're not going to put 100% in just as much as I'm going to put 100% in, because one of his first lines that really had me respect him as a character was like, a hunt is only good when both sides can put their lives on the line. And he kind of
remember Hisoka does something similar in the Hunter exam arc. Remember the guy that was like injured coming up to him like, fight me, because he wanted to die with honor, and Hisoka like literally refused to fight him.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, and when we I will say one thing I loved about the Hunter exam arc, which I'll get.
Actually, I forgot Hisoka's on here. We'll save it till
we'll save that to that.
Or you can move Hisoka up behind Lewis.
No, I'll save Hisoka for later. But no, Lewis, I would definitely put him in good as well. Just because of the fact that he had a strong presence again as well. You always felt that he was there, and you could always like actually have a conversation with him, even though it was never going to go anywhere. You could actually sit down and talk to you, and he would actually give you a fighting chance, as we saw with Emma and as we saw with Lucas, how he was like, you can use whatever you want. I'll even give you an advantage. I'll remove my mask and everything. So I like that about him, how he kind of like put himself on the line and expected his opponents to do the same.
Yeah, I'm sure David remembers too. Like when he first showed up, that was back when we were still enjoying Promised Neverland quite a lot, and we were hyping on him quite a bit. You remember that, David?
Oh yeah,
I remember making the thumbnails and shit, just praising him. Yeah, I mean, again, I would just put him, me personally, probably average. But like, yeah, he did good things, but at the end of the day, he didn't rise above any other typical like I enjoy fighting character.
He did get that back in the end because they were because when they were actually having the fight with him, they were kind of doing interesting things with him. Like they electrocuted him, and he was like, "I've never been electrocuted before. This feels so good."
Oh yes, he's into that.
Yeah, but no, I would definitely put him above average because of the fact that he had a better fight than both Aizen and Yhwach.
That is an interesting point. Like he does have a better final fight, if we want to call it the final fight, because we don't know the implications of what's going on right now.
But no, just because I did that whole video on the fight with Lewis in Goldie Pond and how it took Emma, Ray, Norman, Hugo, Violet, Adam, and Nigel. Like it took about 8 characters before they could actually take him down, and even after they destroyed his mask, it wasn't an easy victory.
Yes, all those very lovable, knowable characters. Good.
You hear you
trait for each of them right now.
Okay, Red.
And a lot of people say that the ending to that fight was a Deus Ex Machina just because Emma got up again, but no, it wasn't, because Emma just gave the opening and then after that she passed out.
Oh yeah, she got like real fucked. Like she got like stabbed through the stomach or something.
She got stabbed through the stomach and then she was passed out, and then it kind of had her mind saying, it kind of had Crone saying fail, 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 but then she kind of got
Luke,
a second
so
win.
I'm gonna get a time machine. I'm gonna travel back to when you were 12. I'm gonna stab you in the stomach, and I want to see if you can stand up for like 2 seconds.
It's anime. It's anime and manga. Like, you have the most popular anime manga of all time, where it has a younger Mr. Fantastic, basically.
Yeah, I am fucking with you. No,
I know, I'm screwing with it. But no, I would put him in good just because of the fact that he had a better final fight than both Aizen and Yhwach.
Hold on a second. So good. Well, who do we have good in right now? We have
Gentle and Ibara.
My vote is average, and then what is?
I with the possibility of what's coming up, I would say good. If
did you guys hear me at all, or did I cut out?
You were saying average, and
yeah, my vote is average, and I was just curious what David's vote was. Sorry.
If what happens turns out to be shit in this last bit of, I would say average, but we don't know. Yeah, and if we did have a hell of a lot longer and more impactful fight than Aizen or Yhwach. I hate to say it, but like, I have to agree with Luke here. It wasn't one page and done.
Yeah, because that Yhwach's fight, that was only one chapter. Aizen's fight was like, I don't know how many, about 3 chapters. Lewis's fight was like 6 or 7 chapters.
And it has had some lasting fucking impact here.
Yeah. But sorry, I lost my train.
Do we have a vote then? Or,
yeah, we vote good. Now, next one is the other major villain of Promised Neverland, Peter Ratari, and I want to see David talk about this because Red, you always went on about Emma not having any always getting what she wanted. You and Furman always said that, like, Emma gets everything spoon-fed to her, everything always works out for Emma.
I still hate it. You still hate
it. Yeah, Peter basically just threw a wrench in that in one of the more recent chapters.
Yes, he did, but I still hate it.
Yeah, because basically, Red, what happens is that Emma says like Peter was just as much of a prisoner of the demons as they were, and she was like, "What if you were born in Goldie Pond? Maybe we could have been friends." And Peter was just like thinking back on flashbacks, and he was just basically like, "Yeah, I'm still a Ratri. I still like doing these things. So yeah, screw you." And basically just committed suicide in front of them. And it wasn't like a cop out with Reyes. He actually did commit suicide.
Well, he's not a child either, so
Yeah.
No, that's still pretty cool.
Yeah.
But
in terms of him as a villain, I can't put him any higher than just average, because at the end of the day, it turns out that when things don't go his way, he's just a whiny, cowardly, petulant. Basically, he's basically Isabella said it best. She called him a boy.
Yeah. It's
because Isabella turns out Isabella was actually a good guy all along, and she turns on Peter Ratri, and then she's like,
she's a big show of the Promised Neverland, more heel and face turns than anybody else.
and she calls Peter Ratri a boy, and he's like that. It's like it's like when things don't go his way, he turns into a whiny, petulant child.
Yeah, I give him average.
I give him average, and the reason why he's not crap is because of the fact that he just basically said, "Screw you, Emma. I'm not being like you. You are meat, and I'm not going to be lowered to the level of meat."
Yeah. And then we got Bitch.
Then we've got. Have you seen Rise of the Shield Hero yet, Red?
Nope.
No. Nero.
Nero.
All right.
Nero's far into draw mode.
Far into drawing, but yeah, Bitch. Now, I don't like her as a character, but she's good at what she does. She makes me hate her for the right reasons.
Yeah, she's an excellent manipulative.
So I would definitely put her in excellent, even though she's like the worst piece of crap ever, and she spewed so much controversy in the fandom when this came out.
Oh, I saw it coming miles away. I'm like, what's the premise of this? Yeah, people gonna be triggered.
And they were for about 5 minutes.
And then they went on to the next thing. But yeah,
it was like Goblin Slayer and Rise of the Shield Hero. We're gonna get triggered. Why? Because a woman is making these claims. Oh yeah, this never happens in real life. I hate to break it to you, but yes, it does.
Amber Heard? Anyone?
Yeah, but we're not going to get into like the controversies out of here. No, basically, I love the fact that she just kind of like, again, like Peter Ratri, but she's better in terms of like the whiny, petulant, spoiled brat who just gets what she wants.
Yeah,
but she does it so well, and she's one of those villains that you just want to punch in the face.
Ooh.
And I don't care. I do not care the backlash I get over that. It's basically like, have you guys ever seen Harry Potter or read Harry Potter?
I think everybody's seen or read Harry Potter.
Umbridge, like Professor Umbridge, you just want to punch her in the face. It's the same thing with Bitch.
Oh.
David, any other comments you want to make on that?
Get the guillotine.
No, let's not get the guillotine. Let's just call her Bitch for the rest of her life.
Anyway, yeah, excellent villain. Makes you hate her for the right reasons.
Yeah. Father, basically God.
Father.
Really cool for me. What is this character?
Father from Full Metal Alchemist.
Oh, okay.
We've got to put him in God because he is literally.
No, you better be trolling. That's cringe.
I might be slightly trolling.
Yato is literally the exception to that.
So here's the thing. Ironically, he's not like the best. Like the best villain in Full Metal Alchemist is fucking. I believe it's Wrath, right? Bradley.
Shit. One sec.
What's happening? Hello.
Yeah, I'm still here.
David?
You guys hear me?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, you know Bradley from
yeah.
Bradley's my favorite villain from Full Metal Alchemist. But like when it comes to Father, he's kind of boring. He really, literally.
Really?
Yes. What name a character at all? He was a thing in a flask. that Edward's dad found, and then he wanted power. That's his entire character. Woo! and then he had like a final fight where he was crazy powerful. In fact, I would argue to say he was the Kaguya of Fullmetal Alchemist. He just showed up. He had a huge fucking powerful fight. Nah, the fucking sins, so much better. Envy, lust, wrath, they were all well developed. The homunculi, that's what they're fucking called. Sorry, it's been too long since I've read this. So yeah, no, Wrath was the best. Like Bradley was the best villain of that series. I thought that Father was just kind of in the background for a long time. Then he showed up and did his thing. But don't get me wrong, what he did was cool. Like that him trying to absorb God, that was cool.
Can Lust just step on me, please?
I never found Lust that attractive, actually, ironically. But what was I gonna say? Yeah, how's she gonna step on you after she's been incinerated?
Yeah, true. Rip.
Which is kind of ironic, considering that both in the dub, both the actor of Mustang and the actress of Lust are married to each other.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
they get to relive that fucking sexual frustration throughout their life.
That's the role play they do, definitely. Yeah, no, I mean, I'd be curious on David's thoughts on this, because like I always just thought this was like a universally acclaimed thing. Like, no one talk when you're talking about Fullmetal Alchemist, no one's like, yeah, oh yeah.
You talk about King Bradley, you talk about Lust, you talk about fucking everybody else, but King, I never really liked the Father. Like,
literally, he just sat in a throne, and then like he like dunked the fucking like homunculi and like goop to kill them whenever they misbehaved. Like, return to my body now. But like all the fucking homunculi were great. They were interesting. Barry the Chopper was fucking more interesting than.
Oh Jesus Christ! Now that's a bit far.
No, I've always just found him incredibly boring. The final fight was great.
Well, it was either Father or Shao Tucker, but I feel like I should have.
That's like the meme at that point.
Yeah,
the meme. Yeah, no. If this was Bradley, he'd be going in at least excellent. For Father, I go crap or average.
I'd have to say crap here.
Yeah, all right. I'll give you start. Although I will say what I love. What I like about Father, I wouldn't say love, but what I like about him is that how he ties in perfectly to Edward and Elric through Foreign Hohenheim. And also that's why I sent you that.
Right? Like, other than that,
that's why I sent you that message on Twitter about doing a video on main characters that you don't necessarily think of main characters, but when you think about them,
No, Ed's father was great. I loved Ed's father going around. It's been a while since I've seen it, but like he went around. Remind me what he did, because I remember Father was trying to make like a really big transmutation circle so we can absorb God, and then like I know Ed's father went around and like did like sabotaged it or something. Like what?
Because he made a reverse circle by communicating with all the people that Father saw the first time.
Yeah, that shit was so cool. Like that what he did was awesome. The imagery of him trying to absorb God, awesome. And like I liked how he ended up basically being reduced to the small thing that he was, like, because he always grasping for more power because he felt so small. But like, yeah, I mean, crap might be. I wouldn't mind giving him average. But like, to me, but I do think Aizen and Yhwach. I like Aizen and Yhwach better. So no.
I agree with you on that. I won't argue. Aizen and Yhwach. I to a lesser extent Piratai. I do like them all better than Father. If
this was Bradley, I'd put him in excellent. Easy.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Now read these next four. This is probably only going to be me and David because these are all Yu-Gi-Oh villains.
Yu-Gi-Oh?
Yeah,
Is that season 0 Bakura?
Well, I was trying to find a picture.
Zero.
I was trying to find a picture.
You guys
Yeah. Sorry, Red. I was trying to find a decent picture of Bakura, and that was the only one. No, when this picture is meant to represent Bakura in general.
Okay.
And in terms of Bakura, I would definitely put him in excellent. I love just the fact of that, of how his presence is always
always
felt.
fucking there, like creeping in the corner.
Yeah. I loved the build up to him at the beginning of the series. How he's kind of like in the background, and then he just sort of shows up. And
He
then
shows
he's
up
like,
as this innocent little fucking thin boy almost, and then he's just like, and I'm this evil manipulative cunt.
Yeah. And I love the fact that he's like, I have something to show you, and especially you, Yugi. And then he's like, yes, and the magic fire ring, my ring will take us to the Shadow Realm.
Yes, and all this little like,
And the one thing that I was really pissed off looking back in retrospective is that first duel that he had against Yugi in the Shadow Realm in Judas Kingdom. If he had just waited to use just desserts, he would have won.
yeah, he would have ended the show right there.
Yeah, but his arrogance got in the way.
Yeah, that's the one thing that weighs down Bakura as a character is he's so goddamn arrogant that he thinks he
could win.
That he is unbeatable. Like everything stacked in his favor, and he just sits there and just lets it all slip.
Yeah, but no, I just love the fact that discounting filler and everything, like just he's always there, always has a presence in the series, always felt, and then it all culminates in him actually being revealed to actually have the big bad inside of him.
Yeah, like that there was probably his crowning moment. It was like, I control everything here.
Yeah.
From the very beginning of the show to now, I've been the one playing everybody.
Yeah, and I love that. And I think if I was going to pick my favorite Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged series joke, it's the one. Bakura's not a main character, yet he's the main villain of the series.
Yeah, really.
Yeah. So yeah, now I would definitely put him. Here's the thing: I want to put him in God, but at the same time, that arrogance of his holds him back.
Yeah, that's the one thing that I would say keeps him out of God tier villain.
But no, but if he didn't have that arrogance about him, he would definitely be in God. So I've got to go excellent on this one.
Yeah, I gotta agree. Excellent.
Nero, did you have anything you wanted to say? Nope. So yeah, Bakura's going in excellent. And again, he's one of like the first like proper actual evil villains that I ever came across as well. But now
I could literally sit and watch Nero draw for hours.
yeah. But now we're on to Marik. Now Marik, I don't like as much.
Marik they tried to recapture that lightning in the bottle they had with Bakura, I think.
Yeah. But it went a bit further. They wanted the Egyptian gods this time. We didn't care about the many Arabs. We're going straight for gods.
But I mean, he kind of still, in a way, cared because he wanted to keep the rod.
Yeah, but I love the fact I do like his motivation. The fact that because he's right. Why should I give my life to some dead guy? Basically.
Yeah, like he's not wrong. It's like the honor thy family motive that they have as a trope in a lot of series.
I hate that. I hate that trope. It's like if you're just gonna make your kids into you, it's gonna lead to bad. It's gonna lead to stabbed fathers, basically. Oh no, not stabbed fathers. Sent to the Shadow Realm.
Just say hell, you fucking cowards.
Yeah. Well, it's 4 kids. What do you expect?
Well, we'll get to that eventually.
Yeah, we will. Fortunately, we'll get to that a lot quicker this time.
Yeah,
but yeah,
I put Marik down in good because he's still a very well written character, especially if you take into account like the manga.
I have. Even though I'm a massive fan of Yu-Gi-Oh, I yet to get through the entire manga. It's awful.
Like the first bit is like kind of trying to be season 0.
Well, no, I should reiterate it. I should reiterate it's awful on my part, not the manga's awful. That's what I meant to say.
Yeah, but once you get to like Yu-Gi-Oh! Duelist and Yu-Gi-Oh! R, like it really picks up. But the manga for 5Ds and GX and all that shit is just like wild, man.
Yeah, I've not. I've seen. Apparently, the two kids in 5Ds, they're villains in the manga.
I won't
That's-
spoil anything,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
it's very bizarre.
Yeah,
And
now-
instead of like fucking elemental heroes, you have the masked Envision heroes. It's just insane.
Sorry.
But Rex fucking Goodwin, this
Crap.
piece of shit.
Crap.
I literally want to be God for the sake of controlling the fate of the universe, but I can't even think of what to do once I have that power.
Well, a lot of villains can't think of that. It's like they want to rule the world. Yeah, but once you've ruled the world, what are you going to do?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know.
And
Legalize all drugs.
But I feel like Rex Goodwin, his problem was more of a behind the scenes problem, because originally it's been confirmed. Originally, Crow was meant to be the final Dark Signer.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they kind of had
didn't
to
want
like
a kid to be the main villain, I guess. Because
no, it wasn't that. It was the original series. Originally, the original creators wanted Crow to be the final Dark Signer, but his Black Wings were so popular that they made him one of the heroes.
So, toy sales. What is this, Cartoon Network?
So I feel like Rex Goodwin was just tacked on, basically, just to like kind of. They wanted to do the same thing, but they didn't have anyone that could fit, so they just kind of made it him.
Can we talk about how uncomfortable his final design was?
Yeah.
Like, they made him the swollest Thanos-looking motherfucker on the planet for the sake of shock value?
Yeah.
He's evil, so he must be extra thick.
He's evil, so he has to put his brother's arm. He has to replace his brother's his arm with his brother's arm. That's how evil he is.
What the hell? Yeah, just I don't want to go mega crap because he's not that horribly written.
No,
but he's definitely crap.
He just came completely out of nowhere.
I'm glad somebody finally agrees with me that Rex is a horribly written character.
Well, it's not the fact that he's a horribly written character. He just sucks as a villain.
Originally, though, like his motivations were good until they tried to make him the final villain of the series.
Yeah. He was. I think they were trying to recapture the Pegasus thing.
Yeah, there was definitely Pegasus vibes for him, and like that influence has been throughout the series. Like you want to have the creator, like even in like the Dimensions movie, like they kept the legacy of Kaiba Core with like everything.
Yeah. Which reminds me, I was gonna save this for when we eventually do a video on the rivals. But Kaiba in Darkside Dimensions creates from the Bird 5 just because.
Just because. It's just like you know what? Fuck you. I'm Kaiba.
No, I love Kaiba. I love just the fact that his ego just becomes so absurd. You've got to love it.
I absolutely. Kaiba is my favorite fucking rival of all time.
Yeah. Now, here's in terms of villains that actually capture Bakura's conniving evilness again, Vector from Seal, Sexor, however you want to pronounce it.
Oh God.
I would definitely put him in excellent.
Yeah, honestly, like Zexel was really hit or miss for me. Like there was a lot of good ideas in the numbers. There was a lot of good ideas and like the Barians? Is that how you say it?
Yeah.
But like it story wise and like especially Yuma, I've never wanted to hit a kid so much in my life, but I want to smack the piss out of Yuma.
Well, to be fair, he does get better. He does get better as the series goes on.
Yeah, like the whiny MC trope was taken to a whole new level with him, though. Like
it made sense because he was literally portrayed as a noob.
He was portrayed as a noob, but like even like Joey got better in a few episodes. He started to learn really well. They forced that Astral as like, I'm going to teach you how to play the game for an entire fucking season.
Okay, yeah, I can see where you're coming from, but no,
This bitch.
Vector is the character that does it for me, and again, I love the fact that he just plays into all the events throughout the series, like Bakura does.
Yeah, Vector is really he is the one that really captured the Bakura mold. They really redid it there rather well.
Yeah, and also his Japanese voice is voiced by my favorite Japanese voice actor, who's the voice for Ainz in Overlord.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Oh, Red, there's Ainz making another appearance.
But yeah, I love the fact that when we get to the draw between Vector and Yuma,
Nero's asking, mind putting me back in?
Oh, sorry, Nero.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry. But no, I love the duel that Yuma had with Vector in the middle of the series, and then it's revealed that Vector was disguised as his friend all along. That was like the biggest twist for me in all of Yu-Gi-Oh series, and it was just such a trolling moment that even the other villains were like, dude, there's that look that they give, like, dude, that's low even for us.
Yeah, it was well written. Definitely the only like villain I would really put up there that I've seen. I haven't seen all of V-Reigns. I haven't seen all of Arc 5.
Yeah, I haven't either.
So I can't really weigh in on those. But
but
this year,
Vector, excellent. Yeah, I agree.
And then Red, you get to fangirl for a few moments.
Yeah, we'll let you fangirl now on Hisoka.
Insert Spanish guitar here.
Did you know that bungee gum has the properties of both rubber and gum?
The thing with Hisoka is he's a character. There's two main reasons I like him, and then I'll expound on them. One is that his simple motives are like it's one of the few times where I see like the motives being so simple yet so interesting. And two, he's like the ultimate like chaotic neutral. Like he really is only in it for himself. He never ever takes sides. And when he does, like what I mean, he takes sides, but like one day he might help the main characters, the next day he might help the main villains, because he has zero interest in either of their goals. He has one goal. So whenever Hisoka shows up, and he shows up in almost every arc, he's not there. You know, in the Phantom Troop in the Phantom Troop arc, for example, he's not there to help the Phantom Troop. He's not there to help Kurapika, Gon, Killua. He is there to help himself. Every time you see him anywhere in the show, you know exactly what he's there for, and it's to get a good fight. But what makes him better than like a character like Kenpachi is that he plays the fucking long game, okay? We're talking years, like decades. Like he'll spot a motherfucker and he'll be like, oh, I can just tell that you're going to be really powerful in like 15 years. So I'm going to keep my eye on you. And in 15 years, I'm coming and I'm going to fucking kill you. But I'm going to enjoy it. Like he plays the long game. So like he'll set up these like plans years in advance. He'll go up to the Phantom Troop and he'll be like, all right, Phantom Troop, I'm going to like, I don't want to spoil it for Luke. I'll just say he gets involved with the Phantom Troop, but as you can probably imagine, just to fight them.
yeah, I can imagine that. And also as well, I'm mentally preparing myself, like I said, for the Phantom Troop to be one of my new favorite arcs, considering what I saw with Kurapika. Karapika. Can I just pronounce it?
Karapika too. I've heard both pronunciations.
Karapika. Can I just pronounce it the way I want to pronounce it?
I was just trying to help.
We're just fucking with you.
I know. But no, what I saw, basically one of the most badass moments I saw was just Karapika just like curb stomp that guy.
The guy that was like using the tattoo to scare people.
Yeah. To me, that had much more of an impact than Killer just doing the Mortal Kombat, literally ripping out a guy's heart out and showing it to him before he died.
To be fair, in the manga, it wasn't covered up with a cloth. He like just was holding his bleeding heart, and then he crushed it in his hand in front of his face.
Yeah, I've seen the panels.
But back to Hisoka though. That's what's so fun about Hisoka. Every time he truly, like, literally, if Gon and Killua can like persuade Hisoka that like, hey, if you do this, there's a good fight in it for you, he'll work with them. Like he will be like he will literally help Gon and Killua because again he plays the long game. That's why he's so different from every other I get pleasure out of fighting character because like like Luck from Black Clover, I know he gets pleasure out of fighting. Kenpachi, I'm sure there's more. I can't think of him off the top of my head. That guy from the pig-headed guy from Demon Slayer.
Yeah,
right?
I know which one you're talking about.
So what do all these characters have in common? They're the kind of people that will see a fight, run right in head first. Hisoka does not do that. He plans because Hisoka wants to fight you at your peak because he wants to get the most enjoyment out of it as possible. Yeah, so Gon, for example, Gon and Killua are safe around him, even though he has this killing, murderous intent to them, because Hisoka doesn't want to kill them until they're like 25, because he's got like a fucking, when's your peak going to be, right? They're nowhere near their peak. They're going to keep getting stronger and stronger. And how far are you, Luke? Where are you at?
I've just I'm up to. I'm past the Hunter exam arc. I'm up to the part where they've just gone to Killua's mansion.
Okay. So you remember the part where Illumi's like, bro, Gon's gonna be a fucking problem in the future. I should kill him, and Hisoka's like, bitch.
Yeah. And again, I love that moment with Gon because I now see what you were talking about. How Gon has just like this pent up rage that's boiling and boiling and boiling.
Oh yeah, that's.
I show when he broke his arm.
So good. Yeah. And like Illumi sees, he can just tell, like, and once you learn more about Nen and how that works, like the power system of the show, like you can just see the potential in him. And Hisoka, it's so interesting because Hisoka, even though he's a villain or an antagonist, or
God,
where they're just hold on,
are you still there?
I cut out for a second. Anyway, there are moments in the future where Hisoka and they're just chilling. Obviously, it's a bit awkward because they've been through some shit. But like Hisoka has no reason to kill him until the peak, right? So like it makes him so interesting because like he's a character that whenever you see him, he's going after some shit, and like he can turn on you in a split second. There's a quote that he has where he says, I think he says something like, I wouldn't want to kill you now because like you are a future treasure, but as you all know, it only takes 1 second for treasure to become trash. So, don't tempt me.
Yeah. And also as well, I loved in the Hunter exam arc how Gon actually saw just how outclassed he was against Hisoka, and he actually, they actually took the time to show him actually training to actually get that moment to actually take the Hisoka's number. Yeah. And
that's going to build up to a future arc where. Because remember, Hisoka says, you can give this badge back to me only when you're able to punch me in the face just like I did to you, right? Yeah. And you can see how he's building up Gon because, again, and it makes it so much better because it's like Kubo tried to last second, like Aizen, like, oh yeah, he wanted Ichigo to be strong because he wanted a challenge or something. But like Hisoka, like that's his life, and it's been building up ever since Hisoka's been a character, that's been his character, right? And like so he's doing everything he can to like he's like a twisted Garou for Gon and every character he wants to fight, really. Like he's just watching over them. And it's so funny because he wants to eventually be the one to kill Gon, but not until he's at his peak. Ironically, until that moment, he's actually one of the biggest protectors of Gon.
Yeah. And I'm looking forward to the fight that they eventually have because I'm aware that they do eventually have a fight.
Mm-hmm. And they do. It's very good.
Yeah. So I'm absolutely looking forward to that when that actually comes up.
So good.
But no, I am aware of like Gon losing his powers in the end, so I am aware of that. That's not a spoiler.
Yeah, I mean, but you don't know how or anything.
No, I don't know how.
Yeah, how it happens is way more interesting than that. It just happens.
But I actually had an idea of how Togashi could actually bring Gon back into the story.
Well, we'll wait until you get caught up to hear that. I want you to be caught up before you theorize.
Well, I might as well say it now. Hisoka threatens.
Don't make me crush your theory.
You can crush my theory if you want. Hisoka threatens Whale Island and gives Gon an ultimatum. If you can get some power back, I'll kill. Otherwise, I'll kill this whole island.
That's actually basically. You can find videos where I've said that. David, back me up. I've said that exact same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So no, that if Togashi wanted to bring him back, that's probably how he would do it. Although, Togashi's a different type of author. and like I don't really see him doing it like similar, because like I had a big problem with how Kubo really just dick teased us at the end of the Aizen arc with like, Ichigo, you're gonna lose your powers. Just kidding, they're back. You know what I mean? Togashi is not an author that lies to you. When he says it's, so I don't see him coming. Maybe I don't see it happening. Because right now Kurapika is the main character and he's rocking it. So yeah.
All right. Oh, cool. And Kurapika is my favorite character in Hunter.
Exactly. So Kurapika actually like takes the front helm in the manga right now. So you'll enjoy that. I'm sure you will.
Okay, I'm sure will. But yeah, in terms of Hisoka,
but back to finishing up my thoughts on Hisoka, and then I'll let you, and then I'll promise I'll shut up.
Okay.
So much thoughts.
No, he won't. Don't let him fool you.
Shut up. The final thing is, and I'm going to be very vague about this as to not spoil you. Moving toward things that happen in the manga with Hisoka, you see how like it goes even deeper into like how he approaches things like fights, because he has this like, I think he's can you still hear me? Okay, sorry, I'm back. I can tell when I cut out because it like does a circle thing. I apologize. So like he sees himself as like, God damn it, internet, as like a mortal, like he can't be hurt. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Yes. If you're talking now, we definitely can't.
Yep.
And Red's not talking at the moment, so
Dead boy.
I'll just say that.
Honestly, go ahead without me.
Yeah. I'd say Hisoka excellent. I've loved him in the Horror Exam arc, and I'm sure I'm only going to like him a lot more when I get more into it.
All right.
Okay, I'm back.
Yeah, I was just saying where I'd put Hisoka.
Yes, I'm sorry, guys. Like I've literally been watching my internet. I don't know why. It's like it goes to like 100-something megabits per second to like nothing. Up, down. Up. It's so weird.
It's basically doing what Mindset's been doing to me all day, just like going on and off and on and off and on and off.
Maybe it's not on my end. Maybe it literally is just the overload.
It's just the massive overload of our shitty infrastructure, man.
Yeah, because
we have too many kiddies playing Fortnite right now.
Yeah.
Right.
But no, Red, carry on.
Yeah, I'm so sorry about that, man. So yeah, basically just towards where the manga is right now, you kind of see he goes through a big character change, which is like a bigger character change than I ever expected him to go through, and I'm very excited for you to see that. And he kind of learns that like his approach to seeking out fights has been very immature and quite dangerous on his part, because he kind of lets. Because you remember Alumi's whole thing with Gon was you need to take him out because he's going to be dangerous, and Hisoka, he doesn't care. He wants someone to be as strong as possible. You know what I mean? He doesn't think about his life or danger, because like he looks at it as the stronger he is, the bigger my orgasm. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and like I said, that kind of got me.
He fights to nut.
Yeah, that kind of like got me Lewis vibes as well with Hisoka, in the sense that Lewis wanted to fight someone strong.
Mm-hmm. So, like, imagine if for the first time, you know, he suffers a defeat so strong that he almost dies. How would that change his mentality? You know what I mean? And the manga delves into that. So, like, there's just his character's always changing. He's like a cool like third party. I love more manga needs that, like a third party character. What I mean by that is like you're having an arc, and there's like this team versus this team, and then there's just a character in the middle that's doing their own thing, like a wild card. He's always the wild card of every arc he's in, and I love him for it. So for me, excellent.
Yeah, I agree with that. So yeah, so now I'm just gonna because this is the main villain of the Chimera and arc.
Best arc? Is it the best arc of the series? Oh, it's so good though. Oh, I don't know.
Well, I'm not there yet.
Yeah, Dark Continent arc might be better.
So I'll let you guys take this one.
Well, I don't want to spoil. Oh man, how to do this?
Yeah, there's literally no way to
try.
Do it. Bitch, how?
Well, what I can do is I can mute my headphones and my mic, and
just watch the chat. We'll hit you up when to come back. Okay?
Yeah, that's fine.
All right. So, for me, oh, and David, I'm counting on you to let me know if I'm ever cutting in and out.
All right.
Okay, so Meruem, oh my god, like one of the best developed characters in fiction, in my opinion. I mean, immediately he goes to God, and we'll tell him when he gets back. But like, how to even start? Him and Gon have an interesting parallel, him and the main character of the series, whereas when he's
Former
born,
main character.
What's up?
Former main character.
Right, true. When he's born, he is born because he's an amalgamation of an ant and a human. So when he's born, he's going full instinct, right? He is the ant king. He's going to get what he wants. He's going to kill anyone in his way. And he is just true monster. Like, one of the first things he does on camera is, and by camera, I mean like in a scene for us, is eat a child. They descend onto a farm, kill this child's parents in front of the child, stab the child through the stomach with his tail, and eat its brains. Okay?
Yeah.
And then somehow goes from that, very slowly throughout the course of the arc, to being more sympathetic and compassionate than like some of the main characters on the hero side. He has a journey of self-discovery, of self-worth, realizing like, the importance of life, right? He was someone who, one of the big things that he like used to believe was, when he was first born, was the greatest force in the world is physical violence. You can get anything you want if you're strong enough, right? And that was his like instinctual animalistic side talking. And for a while, I mean, he's right? He literally walks into basically Hunter X of like North Korea and like just storms into Hunter x Hunter's version of Kim Jong-un's castle and just. Oh, and also, have you heard about Kim Jong-un? Like the actual Kim Jong-un story?
Oh God.
Apparently, like he might be dead. You didn't hear about this?
Nope.
Oh yeah, there was like a botched heart transplant surgery or something. You know, he's a thick boy. I don't know. I had heard that anyway. But so he storms in there and he just literally murders like the president of this entire country and then just takes the castle. And then, so his ideology is proven right for a while. He's like, physical violence can get me anything. And I was born with all of the power of my entire species condensed into my body. I was born to rule the world. Right. And that's all that everyone around him told him from birth. They're just like, you're going to rule the world. You're going to rule the world. You're the king. There are other people claiming to be king, but they're false kings. You are the king. You were born to be the king. Right. So that's all he ever knew. So to pass the time one day, he's like, all right, I'm going to start just like playing these like silly human games that they have. Bring in the world master of chess, the world master of, I don't know, other show, go, all these fucking chess type games. And then, okay, well, here's the Gungi master, right? Which Gungi isn't a real game. It's something that Togashi created. This, it's like a blind, crippled girl, probably like 14 years old, just hobbles on in. And he's like, well, she looks like I could like breathe on her wrong and kill her, right? And this starts to destroy his ideology, because his ideology was physical violence is the most important force in the world. I can get anything I want through that. But he plays this girl over and over and over again, hundreds of times, and cannot beat her. She's got this unbelievable skill in this game, and he becomes fixated on it. Like, how can I be the king if I can't best everyone at anything? And he has a moment where like he's, after this goes on for a long time, he's like, why am I so fixated on this? Like, who cares? I have the physical violence. It doesn't matter that she's better at me at this board game. I can just flick her and she's dead, right? So he goes in to do that, and then he sees her being attacked by like this bird, right? It's like a bird had gotten into the castle, and just instinctually he like swats it away and protects her. And he, at that moment, he realizes a desire to protect a life weaker than him. And that's that's a human instinct, right? Very parental. And so from that, we move on to his conversation he has with Netero, because they invade the castle, and to get a sneak attack, they just like bombard it with Nen fucking like dragon arrows. It was Kilo's grandpa's technique. And one of them stabs right through the stomach of this girl that he had fascinated him for so long and been changing him. And, as she's being healed by Neferupitu, him and Netero go off all Dragon Ball Z style. Like, let's go to a fucking middle of nowhere to fight. And they have a conversation, and it's so interesting. It's
like a generic death battle, really.
Yeah. They have a conversation, and it's so interesting because Netero has been... Netero, the leader of the Hunter Association, has been contracted by, like, every world government kill this motherfucker, because this is a species that's going to like basically think of it as like a plague, like an infestation. They're going to take over the planet, right? Like it's almost inevitable at this point, the power they have. They were getting like millions of soldiers, and it was wild. So they contract Netero, the most powerful human on the planet, basically, go and execute this, like it's an infestation, exterminate that bitch, right? So he knows he has a job to do, and he knows he could never just go back to the government and say, oh, well, sorry, guys, Chad had a change of heart, because, then they'd probably kill him, to be completely honest with you. But also, like, humanity would never deal with it. Even if he said, hey, man, he's had a change of heart, he's better. You know how humanity is. This is something, it's a whole different race from them. It'd cause wars. Netero knew this, right? So Netero, the so-called good guy of the arc, actually had to become more of a bad guy, because Meruem, the Ant King, at this point, actually he wanted to have a conversation with Netero. He was like, Netero, I just want to sit down and talk to you. I don't want to fight you. I want to talk this shit out, because I have views on society and you have views on society. And like, and he starts calling out society, like straight up. He's like, what's with borders? You have like imaginary lines that separate the rich and the poor. On one side, people starve to death. On the other side, they eat in excess. It's ridiculous, because he's looking at it from the perspective of he's got human in him, but he's also got ant in him. And what do ants do perfectly? They work together as a colony for the good of all ants, right? So like, he is this creature that sees both sides of it. And he's like, listen, I understand there are certain humans that deserve to live. That girl is one of them. You are one of them, And I realize now that it's not just all about physical force. There are special lives that deserve to be protected because they have something of value. But the way you run your society is disgusting. And I want to take over it and change it, because now I know what power is really for. It's to protect the weak. But the problem was, he was a very nuanced character. He deserved to live, because he still was going to pick and choose which humans were used for food. Like, oh, we're still going to eat the idiots, we're going to eat the assholes. And Netero, he's like, oh yeah, I can't really let you just pick and choose what lives are worthwhile, my guy. But like, it got so nuanced and interesting. And Netero, because he knew that humanity would never accept this, he had to be the one to cut him off, as Meruem was like, no, I want to have a debate about the future of humanity right now and just how we should run this society. And Netero, who should be the leader of the good guys, he just starts sneak attacking him. Like, nope, bitch, we're fighting. Fuck you. I got to kill you. And so he ends up looking like the bad guy, because the main villain wanted to talk. Such a role reversal. So amazing. And finally, just ending with his thing with Komugi, the girl that was playing Gungi with him. He chooses to end his life because he gets poisoned by a bomb that Netero sets off to kill him, and he chooses to end his life playing Gungi with her one last time, realizing that and I believe his last line was, "This is why I was born, for this exact moment." And he learned to love life and not worry about dumb shit like, oh, it's my purpose to take over the world, yada yada yada. So he went from a character whose first action was murdering a random child and eating its brain to like learning that there's value to life, and you can't judge a book by its cover, and you have to everyone's got their own individual talents and yada yada yada, but still being nuanced and not being a completely good guy either, because at the end of the day, he still was like, well, some humans deserve to die and I'm going to eat them. So like, he's just one of the most nuanced, interesting characters, God level for sure. Go ahead and bring Luke back, David.
There you go. Typed it. But yeah.
Did you have any thoughts? I know you, as we wait for Luke. Oh yeah. Hey Luke, what's up?
Hey, yeah.
He's God level. Put him there.
Yeah.
All right. Wow.
What I can say to you, just to hype you up, is I think he's one of the best written characters in fiction, period. Like, so good. He's definitely my favorite, probably villain of all time. So yeah.
Right.
Look forward to it.
Right. Well, he's until I've watched it, he's got a lot. He's got a lot of competition when it comes to Johan.
I mean, David, can you back me up on how good he is?
He's on par. He is definitely a more nuanced character, especially for a series of already nuanced characters.
Right. So,
and then we go to this.
Getting into the good shit of Hunter x Hunter, Luke. Like, the first arc is my least favorite arc of Hunter x Hunter. Yeah.
I can admit it did drag for me a little bit, but I didn't find it. When people say like it it dragged. I thought like, wow, this is
It
gonna
does
be
fucking drag.
But no,
No,
I thought it was going to be
exaggerated.
like slow as crap. But no, it actually wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be.
No,
It
that's like
definitely isn't
the
as
only
bad
arc
as, say, the Star Village shit and
the rest.
fucking
No,
Naruto.
David's over exaggerating. The rest of the series, though, perfection. Like you're gonna love it.
All right. Now this is
Oh, Madara, I have
Madara.
almost zero thoughts.
I have
Mega crap.
I have nothing. I have nothing to say as well. From what I can understand about Naruto, it kind of has the problem with Bleach. It's like they write the author writes the villains too OP. So what do? Introduce someone that's twice as powerful.
Yeah, Naruto doesn't exactly know power
Yeah, I mean,
scaling.
there's a famous interview with Kishimoto where he literally said, like, it was in the middle of them fighting Madara, and he was like, I don't know how I'm gonna have them beat Madara.
Yeah.
I don't know what I'm gonna do.
Yeah. So for me, again, it's just like the Bleach thing, and I've not seen Naruto, but from what people are saying, like, oh my god, this is definitely the Bleach villain curse, basically.
Yeah, so Madara, like,
To me, he's I don't know.
The premise
average
of-
or crap. Oh,
the premise of him is great. Like, you got old school villain, has all the ties to the fucking village, and then they introduce him. He lays waste to the fucking army within 0 seconds, and then, like, oh, we're going to kill you off and bring down Kaguya because why the fuck not?
see, what Madara had a lot of like hype in the series because he had been built up since the literal beginning, like statues.
Yeah.
Of him. You know, he had a presence for sure, but like when I think of him, I don't really remember much about him, like his motives and like I know they exist, but like the fact that I don't remember them means that they couldn't have been that interesting.
Well, it also is the end of Naruto Curse. Like, it was so lackluster in its finale that it kind of became a forgettable series. Like, everything in part 1 you can remember, like the rescue Sasuke, the fucking curse mark, the fucking tuning exams, all that is memorable. And then once you get to Shippuden, it's like, oh, we got
Pain. Like the Pain arc, it was phenomenal. I liked Pain. In fact, if this was Pain, I'd probably give it like good to excellent. I think I'd give him good.
Yeah, Pain
Madara's
definitely would have been good.
Madara's motives. If I recall, Madara wanted to reshape the world, so he tried to use the infinite Tsukuyomi by becoming the Ten Tails Jinchuriki. That's the whole point of the Akatsuki.
There you go. Somebody remembers.
There we go.
He basically played everyone, including Toby, aka, I'm going to spoil, Obito.
Oh, I don't care.
Yeah,
Obito-
it's like,
Obito, I'd say, is the good villain of the final arc.
yeah.
I really wish he was on this list.
Yeah, Toby was definitely better written.
Like,
I would say Zetsu was better written.
When he fucking brought down 2 meteors, like, oh, you stopped the first meteor, sweet. Try the second one. Like that was cool.
Yeah. Yeah, what I'll probably do in the future is another villains list, but not include anyone on here. I'll do like over main villain part 2, something like
The
that.
main hero part 2.
I think average is fine.
Yeah. But no, you were talking about build-up, Red, with Madara. You did you? Is that what you said?
I mean, I think I was just saying, like, at least he had like build-up. He was there in the series.
You want if you want to
Statues of him, you know what I mean? Like he was always kind of there, lurking in the background. This idea of Madara,
Yeah, if you want to see a villain that's basically Madara done right, it's Bakura in Excellent, the one with white hair in Excellent, not Shigaraki, the other guy from Yu-Gi-Oh. He's the definition of a villain that's built up from the beginning, but it's not shoved in right at the end, and he kind of has a presence throughout the series.
I'm back. I hope you heard at least some of what I said there.
I didn't.
He was always lurking in the background. This idea of Madara.
Oh yeah, I heard that.
That's literally all.
Yeah, did you hear everything I said?
No, but that's okay.
No. Basically, I was just talking about Bakura, the guy with white hair in Excellent, with the brown face guy. He's the definition of a villain that's built up and then has a presence throughout the series. So he's a better model.
On Naruto too, like unfairly, but
okay.
Like, I don't know. For me, I honestly, because I like Aizen and Yhwach better, I'd probably put him in crap. I mean,
yeah, all right.
But I mean, if people disagree, feel free.
I have nothing to say.
David?
Yeah, no, like he belongs in crap with Rex and the father.
Yeah. So is that it? Is that it? Did you guys have anything else to say?
Not really.
No.
Not really.
That's
Now,
it's like you don't really think about him. You think about Toby, you think about Pain, you think about Orochimaru.
Hell, I think more about Zetsu than I do fucking Madara.
Yeah.
all right. So now, again, I've not seen YuYu Hakusho, so I have nothing to say.
Wait, is it Toguro or Sensui? Again, it's so cool.
It's Sensui.
Oh fuck! It's been so long since I've seen YuYu Hakusho. I watched it once in like middle school.
Yeah, pretty much same here.
Fuck.
So I guess
I do the bottom one because it's been way too long.
Okay, fair enough. We can move in now. Have you guys seen Hellsing Ultimate? Because I haven't.
Yeah, is that who I think it is?
The major.
This will be a mostly David one. I've seen it once, so I can comment on little things, but this is mostly David.
So,
yeah, no,
David,
this is just good. Like I love Hellsing, but my God, it has been a very, very long time since like 3 years ago around Halloween. I re-binged it. So I don't really remember a whole lot because it's been such a long time, but I remember the Major is literally one of the better written characters. So good. Red, do you have anything to say there?
I don't remember him. In fact, I remember the abridged.
Yeah, same.
Well,
same. I remember abridged better than I do the regular one because I go back and rewatch abridged.
I really don't. Like, I don't remember enough from it at all. It's another one, just like Yu Yu Hakusho. I saw it once, and I haven't seen it again since.
Well, we'll take your word for it, David.
Are you sure? You think good?
I believe good.
Okay.
All right. Now, Dio from JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. And again, I've not read or seen JoJo, but I've heard good things about Dio.
He's got fucking presence, right? Like when Dio shit's happening, like, oh fuck, right? It's similar to Aizen, like he's got presence. When he steps in, you're like, fuck. He really has like this presence with the whole series too. Like, you know, part 1, he's the main villain. Part 2, like he's kind of like his stories in the background, like a lot of the villains in part 2, they kind of operate off the same logic as Dio. Like they're like, because the stone mask thing, I don't want to get into that because like one day you should read it. The part 3 is the main villain again. Part 4, it's like offshoot remnants of like something he did in part 3 with the stand arrow, and then part 6 he comes back again in the form of like a bone that they try to resurrect. He's just throughout the whole series, right? But like
very much throughout the entire series.
I think he's
one of caught up
more legendary anime villains because like he's just classic, right? And it's almost like what I said about liking. It's like what I said about how I liked Aizen, how he trolls and like he just trolls in such a douchey way. But it's like
the stair scene will forever go down in history.
What? Say again?
The stair scene will forever go down in history.
Yeah. What Aizen's fucking trolls are nothing compared to what Dio does, right? So in fact, I would say Dio's like a better version of Aizen, because
hands down, like Aizen was a copy of Dio, basically.
So like for example, David mentioned the stair scene. His power is to stop time, but before any of the people know that, there's this scene where Polnareff is like trying to walk up the stairs to get to like Dio's just standing at the top of the stairs posing epically. And Polnareff's like, all right, bro, I'm come up and fight you. And like every time he takes a step to go up the stairs, Polnareff, he like moves back down the stairs. And he's like, why the fuck do I keep getting moved back down the stairs? Later we find out he can stop time. So what that means is Dio running back up to the top of the stairs and posing again. just because. And then this goes even further when he needs a ride somewhere, but because he's a
God, he needs to fix his internet.
Yeah.
Plug your shit in.
So much. I can't plug anything in. Like there's
So
nowhere
I think Dio's powers are working on you.
Oh yeah. No, literally, I can't even play like any online games. It's literally
wow.
The past 3 days. Like I try to get in and it's like connection unstable. Yeah.
You don't want to get banned from the dead Splatoon servers.
No, I mean they're not dead. Actually, they're more alive than ever. Believe it or not, they're doing like a whole resurgence of the Splat, and they're doing like another free like anyone can play thing.
Wait, they're doing
Anyway.
Splatfest again?
Huh?
They're doing Splatfest again?
Yeah, they're bringing it back for one time to get new players back in.
Fuck. I gotta buy another copy.
No, you don't even have to, because it's the reason they're doing Splatfest again is because it's going to be one of those things where you can like download it temporarily and play it for free to get people interested in the game.
Oh, cool. I can hop on for a free Splatfest and then fuck off.
Anyway, what I was saying though is another scene too is like he needs a ride somewhere, so he just hops in a dude's car, rips another dude out. The driver tries to escape. He stops time, rips him back in until the guy realizes he's not escaping the car. And then he, just for no reason, just again, to give you the level of villainry and trollness of this guy, the guy's driving him down the road, whatever. And then Dio's like, hey, drive down the sidewalk instead. And he's just like, but there's people. And he's like, you heard me. Drive down the fucking sidewalk. And then he's just like, you know, running over all these people, killing them. And Dio's just like, ha. Like, that's the kind of guy he is.
Legitimately, like, he is one of the craziest motherfuckers in all of fiction.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of other example. Like, he'll do shit like he'll stop time and then he'll throw a bunch of knives at someone from every direction and then unfreeze time so that they all like, shing, you know, he'll stop time, go and get a goddamn steamroller and then come back and drop it on you. Yeah.
Also, from what I understand, doesn't like one of the characters in there do like a Dio sound? Because I heard that one time. Like Heroes, the TV series.
Oh, Heroes, the TV series. I think it's been so fucking long since I watched Heroes or Heroes was ever relevant.
Because somebody did like a villains list and Dio was on there and it showed like one of the characters in Heroes going damn, something like that.
I think it was Sylar, actually. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, but yeah, I think it was Sylar, the villain.
Well, either that's a huge coincidence or it's a reference.
Everything in that fucking show was a reference to something. It was so out there.
Well, I'm gonna see if Thurman wants to get it. Hold on a second.
Okay.
Hey Thurman, hold on a second. Hey Thurman, do you want to get in and talk about what's his name, Sensui from YuYu Hakusho? Because he'd probably know better than me.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let me know if you want to send you a link. Okay. Anyway, though, so I don't know if I want to put him on God.
He is a literal god, though.
I'm not gonna factor in like the.
But then, if that's the case, then we have to put Father in God because he literally became God for 5 minutes.
Yeah, but that was 5 minutes. Dio is literally a god.
No, he's not.
And then we have to put Yhwach in God then because Yhwach basically did become God.
And Poochie is way closer to a god. Oh my god. Although he did serve Dio. So yeah. Either way.
So where would you put him?
Excellent.
Excellent. All right. So does Thurman want to come in then?
It's just I gotta wait until he responds.
All right.
I felt my phone vibrate.
Now I've not seen season 2 yet of One Punch Man, but
is this Garou?
Garou, yeah.
I gotta get Thurman in. That's like his favorite character.
All right, well then.
Get the cunt in here.
Dingus. Okay. Send it. Send the link. Send the link to Thurman.
All right, we'll do.
Woo! Okay. All right, he's sending the link. Oh, it's time.
You got Garou.
Garu's amazing, and Thurman's way better at explaining why he's so amazing. In fact, Garou I might put him on excellent.
Wow.
He's so good.
Let me.
Although I'd recommend reading the manga, not watching the anime, because the anime.
We don't talk about that. Don't talk about that, goddammit.
Yeah, I need to catch up. I had caught up once and then just stopped for a long time, and now I need to catch up again. But Garu's fucking journey, oh my god! Like,
all right, I've sent Thurman the link over on Discord.
Here's the thing about Garou, okay? He has like the longest continued fight I've ever seen in anything ever. The man goes from a fight to another 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 fight for like 50 chapters. Like he has zero time to rest, and it's just showing how ridiculously endurance this guy is because he's trying to become a monster. All right,
Hey.
There's the fuckwit.
Hey Thurman, guess who we just got to? Garou, go.
Oh my God,
I
Garou,
that.
Garou, the man. All right, so let me check things out real quick. Let me scope. Let the king scope out.
Now keep in mind, some garbage picks are in there because I had to concede to some people.
Okay, so God,
Fuck you.
Meruem, excellent. The girl from
Happy Sugar Life.
ugh,
That's
why is she?
thing. I don't
Why
know
is she?
who she is.
Why is she so high? Why?
Because the reason why she's so high is because she does horrible, despicable things, but at the same time, you kind of root for her to win.
Okay.
I didn't know anything about her, so I couldn't comment.
Hisoka, Dio. Okay.
I love how he just glances over the fact that Bakura and Vector are an excellent.
We don't care about those fucking filth characters.
We care about them.
We fucking care, right?
Fathers and crap. Yeah, I can.
Bro, yeah, I know. Because my point about Father was that he was really boring. It was just like, I want to absorb God. That's my thing. Like
He's the plot of every JRPG.
Was way better.
Okay. All right. So, what do y'all think of her Garou right now? Like, what is the?
I'm thinking excellent for Garou, at least.
Oh, yeah, excellent.
And I've not got to Garou, so I've got nothing to say.
Yeah,
Garou-
so I wanted you into. I was what I had said so far, Thurman, before you got in, was how Garou had like the longest continued fight I've ever seen in fiction, where like he got into a fight and then he got into another fight and then he got into another fight.
Garou as a character is so fascinating to me because his drive is just it feels one dimensional, but it's such a deeper meaning. Like he basically his whole goal is that he wants to give villains a chance. Like he thinks heroes win so much that he thinks that it's kind of unfair. So he's like, you know what, I'll be a villain.
Yeah,
You know?
and just to hop in, there was a flashback with Garou where he's like watching like a cartoon as a kid, and you know how in cartoons, like Saturday morning cartoons, the heroes always win, and he was the kid that was like, "Why do the villains never win?" And all the other kids were like, "What the weirdo? What?"
Because
and, like, he literally embodied that. Like, I want. Oh, there goes Thurman. He embodied that. He was like, "I want
come back.
the villains to win. I want to see the villains win." Right. So he wants to become like this human monster. To finally even the playing field and let the monsters win once. Anyway, go ahead, Thurman.
Because if I remember correctly, he was like, the villains are no different than heroes, so why do everyone just vote for the heroes, right? Like as a kid, he was flabbergasted by that. It was just like everyone roots for the heroes, but why not the villains? The villains are no different than the heroes. They're basically doing the same thing that heroes do, except villains, just do it a different way. So that's fascinating to me as a character who's more fascinated by the villain side. And if you and you kind of realize that Garou is a character that's not really your average villain. He's a villain with morals. Like if spoilers 3, 2, 1, the last One Punch Man chapter, he's fighting I forgot the guy with the really dark skin. I forgot his name. That hero, right? So they're having a battle of morals while they're fighting, if that makes sense, right? So they're having like a clash of ideals, right? And we see that as Garou is kind of, I wouldn't say he's sort of winning, but he's sort of like pressing the attack more. And I forgot this man's name. I need help. What's the character's name?
I think I know who you're talking. The one that people thought was racist.
Yeah.
Hold on a second. It's like on the tip of my tongue. One Punch Man. Bro, One Punch Man black guy literally auto-completed. Super Alloy Dark Shine.
Okay, yeah, so Super Alloy Dark Shine. So what's fascinating about that confrontation that they had is Super Alloy Dark Shine's kind of doing the hero spiel, right? He's like, you could have been something more, why'd you go to the life of the villain, stuff like that, blah, 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 blah. And Garou's like, no, I don't want your pity. I don't want you to feel bad for me. I made my choice, yada, yada, yada. And while they're fighting, Super Dark Shine kind of like as he's losing, Super Darkshine is kind of remembering like the fear he had because he's always Super Darkshine's backstory was like he was always, I wouldn't say he would always win, but he was kind of like a puny, scrawny guy until he built up his body, and then he's hasn't really felt the fear. So he wasn't really losing in the sense of like physically losing, but he was losing in the pride game. And we see something fascinating here that when Garou's coming in and Super Outlaw Darkshine kind of is kind of in fear, Garou like remembers something from his past and he backs off. And he in his inner monologue, he's like, "Why does it feel like I'm being the bully?" And then he stops attacking, right? So like Garou clearly is a character who doesn't. He's got
the moral compass.
Yeah. So he's not a character who strictly want to be a villain just to be a villain. He's trying to prove a point.
Because one of the moments that fascinated me, and Thurman, I hope that you can help me remember because I don't remember all the details because it's been a while since I tried to catch up with One Punch Man and then stopped catching up with One Punch Man, which I need to catch up with One Punch Man again. But like I remember there was a moment where I don't know what they call themselves, but like I don't know, the League of Monsters or like what?
Yeah.
Monster
Association, yeah.
Yeah. When the Monster Association tried to reach out to him and be like, "Hey, yo, you want to join?" And he was like, "Nah, fuck off." And I was like, "What?" Like he went solo. I don't remember if he had a deep reason for that or not, but it was like so interesting that like I want to be a monster. I want to even the field, but he's also like, "Nah, fuck you guys too," though. Like, remind me what that was. I just remember liking that.
I don't actually. I have to go back and look at that, but it's just he's a character that clearly he doesn't want to be a part of a big organization, right?
Yeah, he flies solo, and I could respect.
He reminds me of Stain a little bit, a more better written Stain, in my opinion. Like, because his drive is more than just I want to be evil. I want to, like because he clearly has the ultimate. I want to see like his full flashback to why he thinks like this. Because you remember, like he was trained under an S-class hero.
Yeah, he was trained under the kung fu guy that looks like Kilo's grandpa.
He's trained on a bang. Like he clearly has a motive that's putting him to the point, but at the same time, he's doing stuff that you would expect a villain to do, right? It's sort of he's kind of being a hypocrite to his own morals, if that makes sense, right? Because a true villain wouldn't send a kid, right? He wouldn't, he would go for the kill and all the extra stuff.
Yeah, and I'm glad that Thurman brought that up as well because there's a great moment where he's fighting like 5 A-class heroes at once. Ridiculous! One of the best fights I've ever seen. I cannot believe how well they're able to choreograph this fight. It was like 5-on-1 with this and with Garou here, and Garou's entire focus for this entire fight. Behind him, there's a shed, and in this shed, there's a kid, like a little kid, and he's like, "No, wait, guys, don't. There's a kid back there," and they're like, "Yeah, right. Like you'd fucking tell the truth. You're just trying to get out of this attack, right?" But there really was. So he spent that entire fight protecting that kid and that shed from getting hit by any of his goal in that fight was to protect the kid, right? So like he's a very complex character.
So I put him in excellent. He's not quite a god, but he's definitely excellent.
All right.
But you know who is a god?
Can I just ask one quick question about that fight with the shed?
Yeah.
What was the hero's reaction after that?
Did you ever find out that the kid was in there?
I don't think so. I think the kid escaped, I think.
Oh, yeah, because like by the time that like the shed finally did open, it was empty, right? And then so they never actually noticed. Yeah.
Yeah, because Garou actually beat all the heroes, spoiler, and then Genos showed up, and then Bang and his brother showed up.
Huh. Okay.
David, it's like the man's so fucking overpowered, but it never doesn't feel earned because like he gets so injured in all these fights, but like it's not even that he's overpowered, it's that he's got some of the most amazing durability and endurance. Not even because durability is the ability to not get injured, it's endurance because he gets injured because like the last couple screen caps I saw of him, he is so fucked up from all the fights he's had. Like both of his eyes are bloodshot. He doesn't even look human anymore. Like the man has such endurance. It's probably like the highest endurance I've ever seen in any fictional character. Like he is literally, since this arc started to now, he's been in one constant fight going from person to person to person. It's ridiculous.
Yep.
And he like maintains all that battle damage.
Wow.
Yeah, it's very interesting. I highly recommend reading. Like start wherever you left off with One Punch Man and just binge it. It's so good.
All right, I will get to it at one point, but now we get to a character that was on the last list, and it's now on this list again, Light Yagami. And
Now, before we get to Light Yagami, I did want to ask Thurman as well, Sensui from YuYu Hakusho. That the original reason I called you in here is because I don't remember enough about him, because it's been way too long since I've watched YuYu Hakusho. So do you have anything to say about him?
Yeah, he's average, I would say.
I trust you on that.
He's like he's like your Friezas and your Cells and shit like that. He was just a good villain for the time.
Well, we'll get to Frieza soon enough.
Yeah, we will.
I don't think Togashi put in much effort for him as a villain. Honestly,
would you say Togashi or fucking Toguro was better?
I would say Toguro was more developed. But to be fair, I don't really. From what I remember from Sensui, because I still have to catch up. I still have to finish reading Yu Yu Hakusho. He was just your '90s villain. You know, not bad, but not good.
I don't remember much about him, but I've only seen the series once, so yeah.
Okay, yeah.
For Light, to me, I'm pretty sure we talked about him in the main character roster, did we not?
Yeah, we did. But
yeah,
what
I'll say about him, just to recap really quickly, is like
I like him better as a villain than I do as a main character.
I see. Yeah, I don't know. My problem with him is still that I think his transformation happened too quickly. I think he went from I just want to make the world a better place to like lol, I'll murder FBI agents in like 3 episodes.
Yeah.
And like that just made him feel a little bit like a maniac to me. Whereas in Breaking Bad, like throughout the changes, like throughout like 5 seasons, and like you see him like slowly become a worse person. I always use those 2 comparisons because those are the 2 shows I can think of where it's about the main character slowly like going into like this, like just losing their mind with power, right? By the way, Luke, I recommend Breaking Bad. It's on Netflix.
Yeah. I'll get to it at one point, but also.
But anyway. Go ahead. Sorry.
I was gonna say, have you seen the video of like why the Death Note would fail today?
Yeah, no, the phenomenal points. I don't know if I've seen the exact video you're talking about, but yeah, like they brought that up in the one shot. Have you read the one shot?
Yeah, I've read the one shot.
Yeah, how like everything Light did wouldn't work now because it's different surveillance and like the internet tracking and all that shit.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I guess like I like Death Note as a story. I like the clash of ideology between Light and L. And like Light's good, but he doesn't like go to great for me. I would put him right below excellent and good. I think he's good. I just think that there's a couple things holding him back from being as good as he could have been, which is just like the cringier aspects, like the legitimate, like he goes for like literal evil laughs, and like he went a little too hard on the I'm gonna be God, and a lot less, not hard enough on the like just
I'm
like,
going to change society.
Yeah. Like if he focused more on I just want to kill criminals, I'm stopping wars, I'm preventing rapes, I'm like if he could have really made a good point, like he could have come on, like because you know the final clash he has with Nier, where he's like doing his speech about all the good he's done.
Yeah.
Like in that speech, he talks about how he's like he ended wars and he brought down the global crime rate 70%. And like think about, and if that anime wanted to go darker, they really like think about all the stuff he could have done. Like he could have, like I said, he could have prevented murders, prevented rapes, like all the things, all the.
Well, we really don't know what he technically prevented, other than the fact they've just like I brought the crime rate down. How much of that was murder? How much of that was rape? How much of that was like just war crimes? How much
he was at the point where he was killing like petty criminals too.
Oh
like, like petty shit, like thievery, and but you know, he was like
absolute power corrupts, right? Absolutely.
But my point is, like, he could have been a more interesting character if he focused a bit more on like, no, I genuinely believe I'm the good guy, and he did. I think he did believe that, but he went way more heavy on the I am the god of this new world, and that part I thought was a bit like. Like, yeah, you lost me there. Like, he legitimately wanted to like reign over the people and be like worshipped like a religion.
Oh yeah,
and I was like, that's a bit.
Well, he kind of did get that.
Well, he did get that because at the end you have that.
He got it.
the cult of Kira.
And see, that's interesting, right? I like that, and that makes sense, and that would happen. But like, I guess I just didn't need him literally wanting that. Like, I thought that was a bit overboard for him to like typically like that's something that would happen as an afterthought, like something like an unintended consequence. Like you get the thing, you want to do good. Oh shit, I just became a cult. I didn't even expect that to happen, but cool, right? Whereas with him from like episode 2, when he first talks to Ryuk, he's like, I will become the god of it. Like that was such an extra leap to me.
That's not even episode 2. That's the end of episode 1.
That's ridiculous. Like it's way too quick. So like he kills like 20 dudes and he's like, all right, Ryuk, I'm gonna be god.
Yeah. And that's the thing I will say. That's what puts Bakuman, like I was saying last time, over Death Note. It's the fact that it has a more consistent story and the character development seems a bit more natural. Like you have one character in that series that goes from like this lazy bum of a person who's like, oh, why did I have to be born a human? I wanted to be born a panda, to kind of like being someone who works hard for the sake of getting with a girl.
I gotta read the rest of that. So did you put light in good then? Do we all agree on that?
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, but no, Bakuman has way better character development than Death Note. All right.
All right. So call me when you guys get to Daffy and Frieza.
No, we'll just do the ones that you need right now, and then.
All right.
So we'll go to Daffy. I could give 2 shits.
Well, yeah. Let's go to Doflamingo.
Doflamingo, and I'll put Frieza over here as well.
I'll give Daffy. I want to put him in either good or average. Like, Daffy, I really enjoyed seeing Daffy on screen. I really thought that he had a lot of build-up when it came to
better than average.
Underlying goal.
I agree there. Like he is better than average.
Yeah, I agree.
I think he was, as a villain, he did exactly what he was supposed to do. I love the fact that he literally just put a bounty on literally everyone's head towards the end because he was pissed off. And then here's
the people that have pissed me off today.
Like he gave Usopp the hide just because he scared that little girl, I forgot her name.
Sugar.
Sugar. Like, oh, like don't do that.
Well, remember, because Sugar was like the linchpin of his entire operation. Like everyone being toys was so important to his island.
She was so overpowered, it was ridiculous.
So to be fair though, overpowered, yes, but look at how relatively easy it was to take her down. If you think about it, like all you got to do is get her to pass out, and like yes, overpowered, but like with the caveat that you pass out and everything you've ever done is undone. That's a pretty good weakness.
Yeah,
I mean, like, she's still a child though. I feel like if she grows up, that would be.
Well, remember, she's mentally an adult. Part of the fruit was that that you stay the same age physically.
Oh.
Yeah, she's actually like 25 or something. Oda actually drew what she would have looked like if she kept growing.
Oh, okay. I watched the anime. The anime did never mention that to my knowledge.
Yeah, it did. You just forgot.
Probably.
It's okay. I mean, that's a tiny little that's a detail.
I just want to say something. The other day I was watching your video on the One Piece anime. No, that clip.
So like he was so enjoyable too. Like his whole fight with Law and Luffy was just so hype. Like honestly, I don't know why people didn't like Dressrosa that much. I thought Daffy's fight was probably one of the best in the series. Like
it's a good arc. I think towards like in the middle of it was a bit dragged. You know, that's about all I'll say.
Like
and it's even worse in the anime.
Like,
and my problem may have been that I watched it instead of read it, and that it was so hard to get through in the anime because the anime was like peak filler anime time.
Like I was I would put Daffy versus Luffy on like the same par as like Crocodile and Lucci. I'm gonna be real. Like it was that good. Like I really enjoyed it. Like, the whole setup, the whole like it gave us Gear Force. Daffy was like he got his awakening in the middle of their fight. You know, like it made me happy about it. It felt like with Luffy versus Crocodile, Luffy versus Lucci, like it felt like Crocodile and Lucci was pushing Luffy to his limits, right? But it felt like in this fight, it was kind of they're pushing each other both to the limits, right? Like Luffy made Luffy go Gear 4. Luffy made Luffy learn Awakening, right? Like it felt like both sides had something to lose, right? And both sides definitely had like something they couldn't lose. You know, they both had stuff riding on their victory.
Oh yeah.
And it felt like both sides pushed each other to the edge. Where in previous arcs, it didn't really feel like that. It was just us. It was just Luffy.
Well, especially the New World, like up until Dressrosa, the New World arcs were pretty low stakes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like Fishman Island, pretty Punk Hazard, Caesar Clown, yeah.
Yeah, so it was just like,
Hello, Deku and Asta. I see you in the chat there.
Yeah.
Keep talking, Thurman.
Yeah, carry on.
So it's just like, I really like that how Oda kind of switched it a little bit. How he was like, you know what, we're gonna make the villain. You know, work like it felt like they both had to work for the W. And ultimately, you already knew Luffy was gonna win, but it was just really felt kind of nice to see that shift. And I really like Dolphy as a character because I like the fact that he legitimately cared for his crew. Right?
Oh yeah,
he cared for his family, right? Like one of the best parts I thought was like that kind of shocked me because when they found out Pika could talk and when like the henchmen laughed at Pika's voice and they were actually pissed about it, and the whole speech he gave about like how like you wouldn't laugh, like you care about your family, like how many type of people you have in your family, yada yada yada. I was like, oh shit, wow. Like it's crazy too because I feel like that's sort of a character development in a way because we see Dolphy as a kid clearly didn't want to give a shit about his family that much. Like all he cared about was just like slaves and getting rich. Like he hated his dad because his dad wanted to give him better life.
Sometimes I wonder if he regretted what he did to his dad. You know. Because like I think as he's grown up, like obviously he still thinks like he holds some grudge against his dad because his dad is the reason that they had to leave Meruem, the Holy Land. You know, his dad is the reason ultimately that his mom died because they were, they came down and he underestimated how hated the Celestial Dragons were by the people, right? So like I think he's definitely angry at his dad, but I would wager to guess that as he got older, he at least understood where his dad was coming from, you know, and understood that his dad had good intentions, but probably still, you know, like, because I can think of shit that made me pissed off that my dad did. And like when I was a kid, I was like, fuck you, dad, you're just evil. Whereas the more I grow up, I'm like, no, I see like he was trying to do good, but I still disagree with him. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I feel like he was because we see that he tried to welcome his brother in, right? Because I mean,
yeah.
Like, cause I feel like Dolphy was kind of grew up as a character because his flashback kind of was the basis of what he was all about, right?
I think Dolphy's one of the more complex villains in the
because I mean
like, his flashback was so good. Law's flashback in conjunction with his flashback was so good.
Like he was used to Meruem, and then when his dad was like, "No, we're leaving to be better people," he's like, "Dad, why'd you do this?" Blah 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 blah. And then the fact that his mother died, and the fact that a bunch of people literally tied him and his brother up. Just for being a Meruem,
being what they were born as.
Yeah, which was fucked up. Was very hypocritical of the people, but I get it. And then him awakening his conqueror's hockey at the time, right? And then his dad dying, and then shit like that. So I mean, he was definitely a complex character, and he was definitely the more interesting written one. So I definitely put him in good.
All right, yeah, I can agree with that.
Oh man, good. Oh, no, yeah, you know what? Now I'm looking at it. I guess good because he's not on par with some of the excellent.
No, and also I'm just waiting for the moment where in the series when the Celestial Dragons have that Buzz Lightyear moment, you know, when Buzz has his helmet turned off the first time in Toy Story, and they're just like, because they think the air of the commoners is poisonous to them.
Oh right, the bubble popped. That was really funny.
The bubble pop, and they're just like choking.
Yeah, I actually would like to see that.
You know how bad that I can't
the
wait.
Bodhi Archipelago, one of their bubbles got popped, but I think they were just immediately knocked out. That was the problem.
I can't wait until Luffy just decides to bring Meruem down. That's gonna be the greatest moment ever. I can't
oh yeah, well, you know the big theory is that the One Piece is gonna be something that destroys the Red Line, and considering it's sitting on top of the Red Line, it would just crumble down into the ocean.
Yeah,
I agree with that theory.
Yeah. Okay. And then Frieza, the classic, the apex, the Hitler of anime.
One of the most iconic villains.
Average. I'm gonna be real.
Yeah, he is the ultimate average. I mean, he's like the trend setter for every anime villain, I suppose.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he kind of is the mold for every shitty anime villain.
Well, I've got
he's
nothing. I've
definitely-
got nothing to say. I've got nothing to say that because I wasn't a Dragon Ball guy.
Like, you know,
he was the starter of starters, right? He is the one you want to. This Frieza is the type of villain you want to start out writing and then take inspiration from other things, right? Like I feel like he should be like a good first villain for any like battle shonen because he's doing what he's supposed to do, right? He's not supposed to be complex. He's just supposed to be a villain.
But he gets brought back every fucking third arc.
Yeah, that's because Dragon Ball fans. But Frieza at the start was just he's done what he was supposed to do. He was supposed to be a villain. He was supposed to have some bullshit goal. He wasn't supposed to be very complex. That wasn't his character. His character was, I am a badass villain. I'm here to fuck shit up. People are going to have to work together, beat me, and that's it. And that's all he was supposed to do, and he did it well.
Well,
I mean, he had the perfect key to him. Like, what makes somebody hated? Make them openly racist. He's racist against Saiyans. Make him explode planets. Boom. Like that's his entire character is like, I hate Saiyans. I blow shit up.
Like he's not. I feel like Frieza is never a character that's supposed to be compared with other villains. He's just there. He's just like I said. He's supposed to be something like a template for how a standard villain is supposed to be. It's just a blank slate. It's really all he is. He's not supposed to be good. He's not supposed to be bad. He's just supposed to be villain for the sake of villain and be good at it. And it's like Akira Toriyama made him a villain and be good at being a villain, right? He didn't have to be ulterior motive. He didn't need to have like a redeeming arc or something like that. He wasn't supposed to be likable. He's just to be there. He says, hey, he's just supposed to be a catalyst for the Z Fighters to go in and fuck shit up. And he did it perfectly, and that's really all he really needs.
Well, isn't that more to do with the fact that, from what I've heard, Toriyama just made up the story as he went along, so there really wasn't anything complex.
I mean, it's not really his fault.
Weekly cartoon, basically.
Toriyama is the one to end Dragon Ball at that time for a long time, but his editor was like, "Nope, gotta keep going."
No, well, the Frieza arc was the one where he wanted to end it. Like that, the plan was Goku to actually die at Frieza's hands, and then and then Gohan take over, basically.
And then they were like, but this villain wasn't good enough. Write another one. And
he's just totally average.
Yeah, it wasn't like Dr. Gero was supposed to be the next villain. Him and 19 were supposed to be the end game, and then they continued it like, we don't like those.
The Cell Saga was the ultimate written week by week.
Yeah.
All right. So now we have the two villains from Trigun.
Thurman, are you heading out then, or?
Yeah.
All right, thanks for coming in, man.
Yeah, no problem. Enjoy the stream, y'all.
All right, thank you for joining us. All right, so again, I don't know.
I don't remember enough about Trigun.
I can't weigh in here. I've seen it once.
I would say the first one, Legato Blue Summers, he's good. He's a good villain because he actually wins in the end, because the whole philosophy of Vash Stampede is that he doesn't take a life. He's sworn by that to not take another life, and Legato wins because Vash basically kills him. He makes him kill him, and it kind of psychologically messes with Vash. So I would say he's good because of the fact that he actually wins.
Cool. Yeah. Again, I don't really know much about.
And whereas Knives, who is just a stereotypical evil twin, so I would just put him in average.
Oh yeah, I do remember that. Right? I'm trying.
Legit, I thought that was Vash at this moment there.
No, it's his twin brother, his evil twin.
I'm trying to see. So, who can you run down really quickly? Who's all left? I'm trying to see if I recognize any of them.
Myotismon and Luciamon from Digimon. We've got
that's us.
Griffith, right?
We've got Griffith. We've got Darcy the Third from Wolf's Reign.
Okay.
Fishers from Cowboy Bebop,
Oh, okay.
Then we've got the joke. Then we've got the joke one. So we've got the hammer gun. We've got Wicked Dick, and then we've got 4 kids.
Ah, I see. Okay. All I can really talk about there is Vicious. And
All right.
Yeah. So go ahead and that's all you, David. Until
Also get rid of the one from Wolf's Rain because I haven't seen it unless you want to just run it down now.
Wolf's Rain. Again, I would just quickly say good again because of the fact that they ultimately ruin the heroes' plan for what they were doing, and it kind of like made the cycle go in another vicious circle of depression.
Okay.
Yeah, so I would put him in good, and he's literally a wolf in sheep's clothing.
Oh, what fun!
Yeah, because he literally kills everyone.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Sounds like my type of anime.
Yeah, you'll love it. You'll love it, but it's one that you really have to pay attention to.
Sounds good.
Right. So, how do you want to do this? Do you want to do Vicious and then Griffith?
I mean, does David know any of the other two? Or
yeah, the Digimon is literally all us here.
Yeah.
Yeah. You guys can just do the Digimon. I'll just sit here until you're done.
Okay, so
All right.
Myotismon, the ultimate fucking life form, essentially.
Yeah. The very definition of a vampire.
Yeah. Oh my god.
The symbolism with him, especially when he's Venom Myotismon. It's like we've got the devil coming back 666, and he's fighting angels. Like, how much more symbolism can you get?
Could you imagine if our final villains here were the actual dubs for this? How they would be panicking to censor the shit out of it?
Can you imagine if this was done by 4 kids?
Yeah, like
there's literally no way they could get around it.
No, that would be one like, we're ending it here. Thanks for tuning in.
Yeah, we're ending it with Myotismon being defeated.
I mean, even that wouldn't have been a bad finale.
Actually, they could have gone around with it if it was Myotismon just being defeated, and they just skipped the whole Venom Myotismon bit.
Yeah, like they could have skipped. What?
But then they would have had to skip the ending of the first season of Digimon because it literally had Devimon, who his name said devil, fighting an angel.
Yeah. It wouldn't have really made sense. But then again, did anything they do make any sense? But yeah, Myotismon is definitely excellent here.
Oh, definitely.
Like, out of all of the in-game stuff in Digimon, I definitely put him up there.
And I love how he pulled the strings of the villain of the second series, like the human.
Yeah, just dangling like puppet style there. It was very well.
Yeah, and I'm interested as well if they actually, because what I've seen of the new series is that it's gone down a completely different road. Like it's not the same. It's the same characters, but it's like a completely different story.
Yeah,
and
they've kind of plot rebooted everything.
But I'm enjoying it so far. I love. I'll just say my feelings right now. I love the relationship between Tai and Izzy in this version. I really do love it because Tai is more like, "Oh my god, you're a hacker! That's awesome!" Whereas in the old series, it's just like, "Oh, he's a nerd."
Yeah. So yeah, I'll be interested to see going forward where this reboot goes because I had mixed feelings the first time. Now it's okay. I'm liking it. It's just weird for me having that much nostalgia attached to Digimon. Yeah. Having something I love that much rebooted like this. I was kind of on the same boat when they announced they were doing the remake in 3 parts and expanding it for Final Fantasy VII.
Yeah, but I think that this is a reboot that's done absolutely well. So it's the right way to do a reboot.
They put a lot of heart into it, and I can tell.
Yeah, even though a lot of people were disappointed with how have you seen the first 3 episodes?
I've seen the first 2. I haven't seen the 3rd one yet.
All right, even though a lot of people were disappointed about what happened at the end of episode 2.
Yeah.
Grow up. But it's like, oh, we got Armymon, so what?
Yeah. Like, who cares? Like, it's a modern reimagining, and that's a good thing, especially now when we're all stuck inside, that we have something that a lot of us grew up with. We have some familiarity with it, and we can introduce it to our our kin, if we have any. Like,
yeah, and also, I would say if Red has any chance to get into Digimon, I'd say that this is the right time.
start with the original and then watch the reboot. Watch all the series.
Yeah,
including Ross Wars, even though it's fucking garbage. You must suffer.
Yeah, I've not watched Cross Wars yet, so I'm mentally preparing myself. But so yeah, my Otismon, I think is excellent. I'm interested to see what they do if they actually do bring him back for this reboot.
That will be interesting to see in this modern world if they bring back my Otismon.
I feel like they will bring him back because he's like, if you're talking about iconic Digimon villains, he's like up there.
Yeah, like you have him, you have Lucimon, and then you have maybe the shit from Ross Wars.
Well, I would say more of like if they're going to bring back villains, they have to bring back a human. They have to do like another human villain, like what they did with Digimon Data Squad Savers. How they had just like this genocidal Hitler type person.
Yeah, that would be a good thing and possibly a bad thing to go down that road.
But we'll see. And also, they probably bring back King Drazel as a villain.
Oh God, that'll be interesting to see how they do that too.
Yeah. But yeah. Now we'll move Lucimon. I love just how ridiculously overpowered he is.
Yeah, Lucimon is like your Yuha Digimon, really.
Yeah, he's not as good as my Otismon, but I just love how ridiculously overpowered he is. Even for a rookie, he's like, even for a rookie, he has megas under his employment.
Yeah, he's like, look at me, I've got all these megas. And by the way, I'm a fucking rookie. Bow to me.
And also as well, the same woman that voices Izzy and Sheila Labrowski voices Lucimon in the dub. I just love that.
Oh, fucking beautiful. You got two manipulative bitches of characters and then one wholesome one. Talk about a range. Like, I pull the strings. I treat my children like shit.
Yeah.
And I'm a good girl.
Yeah. But no, I would definitely put Lucimon in good just because of how ridiculously overpowered he is.
Yeah. Definitely good. If we will see more development with them and not.
Yeah. But again, like I said before, I think Digimon Frontier, the 4th series, is underrated. It is really underrated.
It really is. It's definitely not my favorite, but it definitely is underrated as hell.
It's like some of the seasons from going off topic, Power Rangers, like, oh, it's not the original, so it must be crap. No.
That's how we get stuck with 90 waves of Mighty Morphin toys. People, stop.
Yeah, stop. But anyway, that's a different tier list altogether.
That would be a fun one to do.
I want to do one of them, like a Power Rangers one with either you or with you on Songetsu Black.
That will be fun to do.
Yeah, but that'll probably be on my own channel.
Yeah.
On
the anime channel. Griffith, kill it with fire.
I've not seen Berserk enough, so I can't really comment.
I gotta go excellent because Griffith makes you hate him. Very, very off the beginning. You hate this motherfucker within like the first 20 chapters.
Is he kind of like on Bitch?
Take Bitch and make Bitch a literal rapist.
Oh.
Yep.
No comment on that. Moving on. Red, you can come back in. Let's.
So yeah, I was thinking about it. I don't. David, you've seen Cowboy Bebop, right?
Yeah.
So like, I just want to make sure because if I haven't rewatched something, sometimes I tend to not have the best memory. But like, I don't remember much about Vicious. He was just kind of there.
I am actually trying to pull something up because I don't have a whole lot of memory of Vicious as well.
The show was great. The main characters are great. The crew of the Bebop is all great. Vicious, I just kind of remember like, all right, he had like a really good gunfight with him at the end. You know, it was like a 20-something episode series. He showed up in like a couple of the episodes as like a setup, like ooh, and then at the end they have a fight, and that's really all I remember about it. It's just honestly like I don't think he was around long enough for me to really care, but like that could be blasphemous. I don't know. Like,
I've heard the same problems as well.
true.
Even though I've not seen Cowboy Bebop, I've heard the same problems with Vicious.
Yeah, he's just kind of there. 4 episodes, 4 quotes, and wiki. Drug trafficker. Cool.
And I know he had what was his relationship with Spike Spiegel again? Because they were like in the same unit of something. Like
they were both in the Red Dragon Syndicate.
Yeah,
and obviously Spike left.
Like here's the thing: I hate to be this guy. And maybe this is my fault, and I'm willing to take that if it is. But like when I can't remember the motivation of a villain, I consider that pretty bad. And like I just don't remember it.
Yeah,
no, that's what he wanted to do.
There was a lot of that in Cowboy Bebop. Like it was to tell a story.
To me, Cowboy Bebop as a show was way better at just like having the one-off adventures. Like that's what that show was to me. Every episode was just a one-off adventure. And they were really fun and really, really unique and creative. And it had an aesthetic that was so interesting. That show is great. Vicious was not like a standout at all.
That is like the way to think about all of that creators series. Like Space Dandy, has anybody seen that?
No.
I need to.
Okay, so tits and ass, great. But like the wonderful like adventures of the crew kind of carry that. Like spoilers, if you want to avoid them, like in the end he kind of becomes God.
Nice.
But like it's such a bizarre adventure as it goes through, but those standalone adventures are what carries it. And it's the same way with everything that they've put out. Like
it's not the journey, or no, it's not the destination, it's the journey.
Right, like your
like,
villains
really is just kind of, it was a good cap off.
Yeah, your villains were just there to help convey that overarching like adventure of the week style story. Like, oh, we meet again, we have our fight. That's it.
This may be controversial. I want to put him in crap because I don't remember enough about him.
I really don't, and like
I really
love
don't
Cowboy.
As well.
I love Cowboy Bebop as a series.
If this was Spike, he'd probably good or excellent.
Yeah, Spike as a character.
If this was Ed, he'd be God. God.
Yeah, and that's why I really want to do another like main characters one, because I felt bad for leaving Spike off the first one.
Oh yeah, and Ed is one of my favorites from anything.
All right. Well, actually, here's the thing. Next time I want to do main females, so I might put Ed in that one.
Oh. See, now that's a great idea, because there's 2 tiers to judge on. There's the waifu tier, as in like how much do you want to marry this woman, but also just how good of a character she is.
Yeah. So next tier list it will be main female, because there's like you've got
not even just main, like
just female.
Female. I guess they'd have to be important, obviously, but like because it's like
you don't want to put Boa Hancock in
right, like the most important female characters from said series. So Bleach, you could slap Rukia in. One Piece, you could slap like Robin and Nami.
Here's the thing. I might do 2 because I would really want to talk about Kohaku and Suika from Dr. Stone. I would really want them in there.
Yeah. You can do multiple, like a good handful from every series.
Yeah, and it's like also with One Piece it'll be Nami and Luffy. With Bleach it'll be Orihime and
Nami
Rukia.
And
Robin. Nami and Robin. Sorry.
I mean, Luffy could be a woman if he hits Eva up again. That was a missed opportunity that Oda did not take.
Actually, I had an idea of what Crocodile's secret could actually be.
Yeah, we all know. Everyone knows that theory. It's Crocodile could have actually been a woman.
No, actually.
He's Luffy's mom?
No, it has nothing to do with that. It's the fact that Ivankov and Crocodile actually got into a fight, and Crocodile lost to Ivankov, and the deal was that Ivankov had Crocodile had to go out on a date with Ivankov, and he was just constantly changing his gender all the time just to mess with him.
Crocodile had to smash Ivankov in woman's
Yeah. So it's like Crocodile lost to Ivankov. That would be.
I
be
mean,
like,
I'm sure if Oda ever does it, it'll be extra embarrassing for him. I'm sure it'll be beautiful.
but I would think that would be extra embarrassing to lose.
Oh
to
yeah,
someone
no,
like
I
that.
agree. I agree. That'd be hilarious.
And to go on a date and have your gender be swapped with them. That would actually be the most embarrassing thing ever for someone like Crocodile.
Man, I hope there's got to be.
Is it bad that I'd be kind of into that?
I'm gonna need him to gender swap at least one member of the Straw Hats. That'd be so funny. Yo, gender swaps.
Didn't they do that with Sanji and Nami?
No, he didn't actually gender swap him. He just like turned him into a drag queen for like a second.
All right, okay.
Like he just they just broke him down mentally and convinced him to start wearing a dress for a while.
All right. So yeah, are we saying Fisher's crap?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bad.
Yeah.
That could be my bad, but like he just did not interest me.
I mean,
All right.
I'm the Cowboy Bebop guy, and he didn't interest me. I literally had to fucking Google him.
Gun.
Yeah, the hammer. These
So
are the
finally, we can put something in Mega Crap.
These are the joke entries because I was just like, you know what? Why the
Fuck
hell
it.
not? Yeah.
Mhm.
So the hammer gun, the worst change ever.
They do realize I can still.
I mean, at least they tried. At least they did something. They didn't just turn it into a water gun.
They do realize the hammer can still kill, right?
Here's the thing that I do not get about it. They still had swords in that series in the dub. So why didn't they just change it to a sword?
Because I guess they
maybe a harder edit because he's like pulling a trigger. I don't know.
But still, mega
it's
crap.
one of the weirder ideas for sure.
Mega crap. Definitely.
Yeah,
is it any weirder than like the lollipop instead of a cigarette?
Well,
no, that's actually a reasonable idea.
That does actually make sense because you don't want to obviously show kids smoking. That I can actually agree with that, and I can actually agree with changing the guns that the Marines have into like if they changed them to just swords, like if they just changed them to an actual weapon.
Yeah. Well, here's what it should have been in the first place. They should have just never picked up One Piece because it's not a show to kids.
But apparently, it was in a package deal with Shaman King. That 4 kids got, so they had to kind of have it if they wanted Shaman King.
I see. What's that next one, by the way?
That is Wicked Dick.
Oh, the teching joke.
Yeah, I just wanted to put that. I just wanted to put that in, but don't know enough about him. So I
don't know. I've heard just a joke. I never even saw that filler. It was a filler, right?
Yeah, it was a filler made even better by the fact that the dub did not change his name from Wicked Dick.
So like I would always honestly, not only did I never watch the 4 Kids, but like when I was catching up with One Piece, I had like a filler guide up on the other tab, and I skipped all the filler. So like I never saw any of the filler.
All right, okay. But now speaking of 4 Kids, they're the last one on the list. Now this came out a little bit weird because just for the way the pictures came out. So
there's just 2 pictures as one.
Yeah, so
I mean, well, obviously, 4 Kids is the ultimate villain, and the only thing we can possibly do here is put 4 Kids up and got.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. Well, you've got to transcend them to gods because now they're a legend. They're a legend in the anime community.
And they really are. Like
out of everything, tier. 4 Kids tier. Above God.
Literally, like, what all did they do? Like, what is their list of sins?
For all the sins they've done. They did at least they got anime over here, like in the West.
Yeah.
And unlike Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged said it best, if it wasn't for them, we wouldn't have the Abridged series, like we wouldn't have DBC Abridged or Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged or any other Abridged series.
Like Jesus Christ.
So it's like I hate them, but at the same time, I can't hate them because without them, I wouldn't have been a massive fan of Yu-Gi-Oh! As I was, and we wouldn't have Dan Green as Yugi, just hammering it up. So as much as I hate them, I love them at the same time.
Yeah, they definitely did help, like bring anime over here. Like we got Mew Mew Power, Magical Do Re Mi, fucking Dinosaur King.
Yeah. And
like
also
Chaotic, if you want to count that. Yu-Gi-Oh! Winx Club.
Pokemon.
Ultraman.
Yeah, like say what you want about 4Kids, they did Pokemon well. They like with just the card game, the TV show, like it was a phenomenon on it was like our generation's The Simpsons.
Yeah, like, and then once they lost the rights to it, they gutted the fucking cast of it and they changed it all up over here.
Yeah, and oh, by the way, have you seen recently the original voice of Ash from the dub when he won the Pokemon League, and that original voice actress did a little skit on Twitter?
No, I did not.
Yeah, no, it's really surreal, but really humbling to hear that.
Yeah, definitely.
I'll send you the link to it if I can find it.
Were you David? I don't remember if you were at this con, but one of the cons we went to, I've actually met the original voice actress for Ash.
Ash.
I've met the original actress, and I've met a couple of the others at other cons.
Yeah, she was at one of the cons we were at, and I actually got to meet her. And this is the story I've told many times where I got her, like, I asked her to say something, and then she asked me what my favorite Pokemon was. And as a kid, it was always just Psyduck, because I thought I liked ducks, and I was like, oh, that's cute. So I was like, Psyduck, and then in Ash's voice, she was like, I like Psyducks too. And I was like, ah!
Yeah, it's definitely like that's one of the funnest things about like meeting voice actresses and actors, like getting them to speak those lines is so surreal. Like, especially if you have that super nostalgia.
Well, funny story as well is that the very first short film that I ever did was a film called I'm Not Derek Jones, and my dad always gets me to say that all the time, and it's always so fun to just say that.
Yeah, like things like that about acting and improv and even doing voice lines, like you guys being part of the Retro Rhino project. Like,
the thing with that is that I did not get into it, and he eventually blocked me.
Yeah, but like being able to even go through the auditions, like that, there's being able to recreate your favorite scenes for your characters. That is something that's surreal. That's a part of internet history. But yeah, like that was so fucking. My biggest moment for me was meeting like Bulk and Skull last year at Comic-Con. Like meeting them, and everything that they did throughout the con floor was completely in character. Like they were stealing people's lunches. They were going through and like causing mischief behind the freaking scenes at their like panels, like tinkering with the audio equipment. It was so fucking cool to just see them acting character, getting to talk to them about the impact of Power Rangers and everything. And then getting to hear like the stories from behind the scenes, because you obviously the American version has this like really split. Like this group hated everything that Saban did, and this group loved being a part of that legacy because of all the fucking like micromanaging that goes on. And you can look into it, like all the micromanaging that Saban did. Like we got to do this, and we got to do this, and we got to make it like this multimedia project. And getting teenagers to be not teenagers for 5 minutes is like the hardest thing.
But yeah, going back to I don't know why you would put 4Kids.
Like they're an enigma. Like 4Kids has always had this part in history. Like it has their very, very cringe moments, like the 4Kids One Piece rap.
Which it's catchy. You've got to give it that.
Catchy.
It's catchy. It's annoying, but it's catchy.
Yeah, like it's definitely catchy. You have the weird decisions of like censoring any religion or political
giving accents,
or just inserting wacky accents.
Voice in the 4Kids dub insults me.
Here's the thing again, I don't understand. It's like you have Captain Morgan in One Piece in the dub, and yet that's not changed, even though Captain Morgan's an alcoholic drink.
Well, it's also like it's not really, unless you've been around alcohol, it's not something that you really recognize. It just sounds like a pirate name.
But
the same could be said about Sailor Jerry if they would have put that in there.
Yeah, have you seen the clip of how Frankie's voice in One Piece would be like if it was done by 4 kids.
Oh God, where
It was basically done like best example is Yu-Gi-Oh! GX. There was like a card that basically had an Arnold Schwarzenegger like voice.
No,
Yeah,
no,
it was
no.
that.
Oh,
It was that.
God, even that was fucking cringe.
You know the card that I'm talking about, David.
the mammoth one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus.
But
Well,
yeah.
and then you also have the bizarre decisions like during their end game, like cutting like 15 episodes from Yu-Gi-Oh! 5Ds and never dubbing them.
Oh, I don't talk about the 5D stub.
It was interesting.
It was interesting to see how they tackled something that dark.
Yeah, like that entire series, Yu-Gi-Oh! On motorcycles, but it's one of the darkest fucking Yu-Gi-Oh! Series on the planet. Like,
yeah. Even though some people don't agree with it, like not naming any for Neverworld.
Oh, we don't talk about him.
No, we don't. But no, I'll give them credit that for actually trying something like that, for actually attempting something like that.
That would have been where most people were like, you know what, we give up. We can't tackle something like this and make it kid friendly.
No, you can't. You really can't with 5Ds. Especially, I'm amazed that they kept this in the dub where Yusei punched out those 2 security guards. Where in the past they would absolutely be against that.
I think at that point it was more like, how do we stay afloat?
Yeah.
Our audience that grew up with our dubs have reached that point of maturity where they know violence is not the answer. So why not put that in here? Yusei is obviously a vigilante, or even worse, depending on the source material. But we might as well just be like, well, he's been in jail. What did jail people do? They punch people in the face.
Yeah, and Red's gone.
Yep.
Yeah.
And now, guys, thanks for having me.
Yeah. So yeah, we've got to put them in God because they're an enigma. They're in a legend. They're in a world. They're in a class of their own, basically.
They really are. Like, 4Kids will forever go down in history as one of the most famous yet infamous dubbing companies out there.
Yeah.
May God have mercy on their soul, because we sure the fuck didn't.
Yeah. And that's the end of the list. Like I said,
what was that? It wouldn't be 3 hours.
It wouldn't be 3 hours, and yet it turned into 3 hours. But I really did enjoy doing this one. Like the last one, I really did enjoy it. And
these are always fun to do. Like these tier lists and brackets, they always turn into the best.
I still can't figure out how to do a bracket list.
That would be something that you and Brad would have to really get in touch with and figure out how to get it working right.
Yeah,
it took him a good while to get it working for our channel.
But yeah, I'll save this and hopefully this stream will be all right.
It didn't crash on YouTube's end, so that's a plus. I had it up on the second monitor all the time.
And thankfully on here, because I've got the Ethernet cable in now, it's been a smooth run, basically.
Yeah, definitely.
Next time, female list, because we've got to do a female list now, and then maybe like secondary protagonist and more villains and rivals and that. I want to do a rival tier list.
A rival one will definitely be fun.
Yeah.
And definitely Zangetsu Black, you and I can always do Power Rangers and Yu-Gi-Oh! Ones down the road as well. And put them on our personal channels or whatever.
I'd love to do that. But yeah, next time, maybe next 2 or 3 weeks, a female one.
Yeah, 2 weeks usually works out really well for this.
Yeah, I agree. And hopefully we can get more people in by then.
Yeah, definitely in shelter in place for us. Oh no, it won't quite be over. 2 weeks from today would be the 8th of May.
Yeah, hopefully by the 11th of May, that's when
hopefully by the 15th mine is.
I should be out by then.
It'd be
All
nice to have some normalcy again. But thanks for tuning in, everybody.
Thank you, everyone, and we'll see you later.
Yep.
Bye.
Bye. Okay.